scores for Scotland.
Romajang stepping away. Stunning work from Bridger. What an individual score this is.
Dobrat is in.
Talent aplenty has graced these great leagues, but now future stars are set to shine. Last season was the most thrilling to date, but now it's time for a new crop of talent to grace the field, and in this league, anything could happen. It's time to take your seat. The best leagues in the land are back.
Byfield with a BUCS Super Rugby try for the ages.
And then was a white line seeking missile.
Loughborough score! Rise towards the line. Sensational score from Romajang.
Wind into gear and drive to the line. And Cardiff are streaking across. Welcome back, everybody. BUCS Super Rugby is back underway.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Loughborough University. It's Wednesday night, and that means only one thing should be on your calendar. That's right, BUCS Super Rugby, and we resume action here this evening with Loughborough University against the University of Nottingham. It's 2nd versus 10th in this very tight table. And before we get straight to the action this evening and to the people joining me, let's hear from the captains themselves ahead of the fixture.
Best singer Josh Manns, at the Singing Rugby Player on TikTok. He once serenaded us with Feeling Good on the bus, the Michael Bublé one, and yeah.
Will Callan is the fastest in the squad.
Fastest in the squad, Harry Rowson.
Alan Lewis.
Or Eric Nixon.
No. Brotherhood, passionate and confident.
Dedicated, hard-working, and fun.
Now, from two men excited about the action on the pitch this evening to two members of royalty in BUCS Super Rugby, BUCS Rugby's very own Mr. Rogers and BUCS Super Rugby alumni Mr. James Cherry. James, I'm going to come to you first. You are a BUCS Super Rugby alumni now, playing professional rugby for Nottingham in the Championship. That's quite the accolade to suddenly have to your title.
Yeah, mate, it's been class. Kind of the transition from BUCS to kind of the Championship games, really well trodden. A few guys on my team, the likes of Marcus Ramage, Daffyd Rees-Touetti, that I obviously played against in BUCS, and personally, mate, really enjoying it. I think played 6 or 7 games now this year, and been an awesome experience to get my teeth stuck into that.
Those training sessions must be particularly interesting with the BUCS rugby heritage behind it. Now, Dave, Loughborough, they need to bounce back this evening after a shock defeat on the road last week against Cardiff Met, and before that, a record win here in the Midlands, a BUCS Super Rugby all-time winning record. What do they need to do to get back on track?
I can't believe you, as an archer, have just said that that was a shock result. Unbelievable. Chop that up and get it on socials. I think Cardiff Met last week just needed it more. And as you'll attest to, James, desire is absolutely huge in BUCS Super Rugby. I think a big problem for Loughborough, they've played some great rugby this year, but it's been consistency. They tend to lose the third game of every 3-game block, basically. Win 2, lose 1. They've not won more than 2 in a row this season, but bad news for Nottingham, they've not lost 2 in a row either. So they'll have worked hard this week, they'll have had 6 days to put it right, and what better place to put it right than here on the Crumb on a beautiful evening in a local derby.
Now, James, I'll come to you first as well, because you'll have experience in this. Now, how important is it for Loughborough's leaders to really step up in particular in this game?
Yeah, I think it's massive, mate. Obviously, we're really lucky at Notts and Loughborough to have a great coaching staff. But at the end of the day, when you're on the pitch, it's you and the 14 lads around you. And, you've got captains, you've got pack leaders, guys for scrum and line that have to step up and deliver in those areas. So, for Loughborough today, the likes of Fergus Dick in the pack and in the back line. I know he's on the bench today, Reece Malone, a lot of BSR experience, Morgan Meredith, Leicester Tigers senior academy player. So guys like that, I expect they'll be stepping up, bringing on the key messages and moving Loughborough in the right way.
Now, Dave, there's lots of members and areas of this Loughborough squad that are invaluable in trying to claim that victory this evening, aren't there?
Oh, there certainly are. And you're talking about leadership there. I mean, they've got Mario Pichardi in the back row, who's captain of Spain. I mean, Spain are looking to finally get to a World Cup. Hopefully they can sort out the few problems they've had over the years. Set piece is a really interesting one, and I'm fascinated to see where that goes. I think we'll talk about individuals a little bit later. But Nottingham have perhaps struggled there, which is a surprise given how well it went. And when they've got players like Rob Carmichael in the team, who's such a great line-out technician. Owine's playing for Loughborough tonight as well. I know that Martin spoke about him earlier. So 2 proper line-out technicians. I think whoever gets that right is really going to get on the front foot, because I know I'm wrapped up here like a mummy in a big thick coat. It is cold, but there's no breeze. It's perfect playing conditions for the time of year. So a good platform, 2 teams who do chuck it about and do score tries, but you've got to earn the right to do that. And I think if Loughborough can do that, then it could be a good night. But Nottingham have already shown that they can really turn up in these derbies. I mean, who could forget Lady Bay last year, where you played 80 minutes, because that's all you seemed to do last year. Speaking of looking like a mummy, you must have spent about 10 grand on tape and bandages last season. But yeah, really, really important to build a platform and earn the right. And I think whoever does that will come out on top this evening.
Well, let's hear from the Loughborough camp directly ahead of this Goliath encounter. Martin, thank you very much for joining me. It's very cold out here and somehow you're in shorts, but enough about your fashion sense. Let's talk about the rugby a little bit. A disappointing loss on the road last week against Cardiff after a record-breaking BUCS Super Rugby win. What's the mood and atmosphere been like in camp this week?
Yeah, it's been good. We really want a reaction from last week down at Cardiff Met. We probably didn't show our true selves down there. Cardiff Met certainly had a lot of desire and were better than us on the day. As you say, last game here at home against Swansea, we had a good win, so hopefully we can replicate that tonight here.
Well, how important is it that you get to come straight back to home after last week's loss? I mean, surely it's an opportunity to regain momentum in your campaign.
Yeah, every home game's special. Obviously, you only get 9 of them in the season, so every opportunity at home is really special for us. Really good crowd generally at home. For Oddballs, the charity tonight as well, so hopefully it'll be an extra special occasion.
An extra special occasion indeed. But let's talk a little bit about the side as well. Forced changes because of injury, and a couple of changes probably just because you fancy it, I think. Or I hear someone's on holiday in Portugal.
Yeah, so a couple of guys out injury. George Taylor, second row's out injured tonight after Cardiff Met last week. We've got 2 lads, James Isaacs and Ollie Allen, away with England 20s. They're on a camp in Portugal this week as well, so a couple of changes there.
You wish they could have brought the sun with them before they left for Portugal. But quickly, before I let you get to the warm-ups, which obviously are very important, can you give us one person that we should be keeping our eyes on? Because there's a lot of standouts in this Loughborough side. It must be almost impossible to pick out one.
Yeah, a couple of really good guys up front who've been great for us all season. Owen Evans in the second row, a Welshman in his first year. It's been absolutely outstanding. And other end of the scale, Mario Pichardi in his third year. Spanish captain at number 8 has been really good, getting us great go forward so far this season.
Awesome. Well, best of luck and thank you very much.
No problems at all. Thank you.
So we're now going to focus on the visiting side today, the University of Nottingham. Dave, where's their leadership going to come from this evening now that Mr. Cherry's not on the pitch?
I nearly said 3 words, Archie van der Fleer, but that's definitely 4 words, isn't it? He is a massive, massive, massive player, physically and a lot more as well. He's been with you in the champion Nottingham. Full disclosure, I didn't realise he was still BUCS eligible, but he's got himself a senior academy contract at Leicester Tigers. The fixture at Lady Bay last year, he was gargantuan, wasn't he? He was scrummaging well, kicking 50-22s. It was a man of the match performance. And we mentioned earlier where they've struggled a little bit in the set piece. He's a great scrummager, and I think to bring a player like him back could really make a difference. He's also fit enough to maybe go 70-75 minutes. 80 minutes, maybe. We'll see how it goes. But I think bringing him back will give everybody a lift. And I'm also really excited to see areas where he's improved his game, playing in the physicality of the Championship against much bigger, stronger prop forwards, and he can really get them some go forward tonight.
Now, you mentioned the importance of the set piece. James, are going to come to you because Nottingham are fielding a relatively inexperienced forwards pack this evening. So how pivotal is that potentially in the outcome of this fixture for Nottingham playing that pack?
Yeah, I think it'll be extremely important. We always talk on kind of in BUCS Super Rugby, the set piece is massive. But in terms of experience, we've got a few guys there, the likes of Rob Carmichael, Archie van der Fleer that Dave spoke about earlier for scrum and lineouts, and a few other guys as well. Conor O'Byrne, he's played a lot of BUCS Super Rugby now. Will Rampley, only a young lad, but he's done 2 years in National 1 playing with Cambridge Rugby Club, and I think guys like that, if they come together tonight, they could be really effective.
Just want to quickly add to that as well, the experience of Fred Marr and Archie van der Fleer. Loughborough are starting a loose head for the very first time tonight, and a hooker as well, so maybe that's an area that Nottingham can try and exploit.
Now, before I let you two waddle in this snowy and icy conditions to the commentary area, James, quickly, Nottingham are desperate to put their season back on track because it's not going the way that the script says it should from a Nottingham perspective. Give me one thing they need to make sure they do this evening and execute well to get a win.
I exit we know Loughborough's kicking game is going to be really strong. We've got 2 guys in today, Jamie and Max Blinkhorn, both came through the kind of Wasps or Midlands Central system. Really talented young players, a lot to give. So if they can get the kicking game right today, I think we've got a good chance of getting a result.
Now, Dave, final thoughts from you before we go. What's your crystal ball saying? I mean, is it working? Do you know where this is going to go?
I don't know where it's going to go, but at least one team's going to get a try bonus point tonight.
Awesome. Well, before I let you guys head over to the commentary section, well, I will let you go, actually, and we're going to hear from the Nottingham camp themselves and what they have to say ahead of this fixture. Paul, it's a very cold evening here in the Midlands. I'm very thankful you've joined us here for it. Your side have also had a week off, which was unplanned, but maybe slightly welcomed at this stage in the season.
Yeah, I think it was. It's been a tough start to the season for us this year, but it's important we don't lose self-belief. It's important that we don't lose confidence. We're getting some players back, which is really encouraging. And disappointing not to play last week. The week before we went down to Cardiff, scored 5 tries away from home. So, perhaps we are just turning the corner a little bit, and we're looking forward to putting in an 80-minute performance this evening against Loughborough.
Now, this is a league where anything can happen at any stage of the season. How much do you back your boys ahead of this evening to get a vital win over Loughborough?
Well, I think first and foremost, you always back your players, don't you? As a coach, you have to believe in your players. We've had some disappointing performances. We've had some encouraging performances. I think this evening is about us playing the sort of rugby that we believe in, that got us a lot of success last year, that actually got us into BSR. I think we've just moved away from that a little bit. So it's important that we play some rugby tonight, that we're competitive, that we take the game to Loughborough. We've been under pressure a little bit at set piece. Injuries haven't helped, but no excuses. I think if we win some ball tonight, some good ball, I think we really will take it to Loughborough.
And let's talk about the team itself that's lining up for Nottingham this evening. Consistency from Cardiff, is it?
Yeah, a little bit. Obviously, we're delighted to welcome back Archie van der Fleer, who's contracted to Tigers, so he comes in for his first game this season. And, we'll be looking at Archie to not only bring us some stability and strength at set piece, but also he's an awesome ball carrier. So, he's got full licence to get out there and be a wrecking ball this evening. Otherwise, fairly, the same sort of players, if you like, that have been playing the last few games. So that consistency of selection, I hope, will help us. Archie joining us at training this week certainly added a real buzz to and energy to what we're doing. I think we've just got to tidy up, James, in a lot of areas. Poor mistakes has cost us, as has ill discipline. We just need to tighten it up, and we generally believe we're just one performance away from turning the corner. Hopefully it's this tonight.
Let's hope so. Well, Paul, you answered my final question before I could even get to it, so I'm going to let you get to the warm-ups, and hopefully you won't get too cold.
Appreciate that. Cheers.
Well, as the seconds to kick off keep ticking down, it's time to send you over to our commentary team of Dave Rogers and James Cherry to take you through the scintillating action.
Well, thank you very much, James. From one James to another, I'm going to bring you in very shortly, James Cherry, because someone has just come across with a scrap of paper. We've had all kinds of last-minute team changes for the University of Nottingham. But before that, let's take a look at the picture of what's been happening throughout this very busy BUCS Wednesday in Super Rugby. In terms of the results, Exeter continue their excellent form. 33-24 over Leeds. Beckett Durham 27-7 over Swansea. 27-7 Bath beating Cardiff, and of course these are last week's results because Loughborough fell to defeat at Cardiff Met, getting into that habit of losing the third of a 3-game block. But that was so important for Cardiff Met. They were on a rotten run of form, but now we look forward to this Wednesday under the lights. And of course the table. Do you know what? Every year I've tended to place a bet that says each team will have lost a game by Christmas. However, I think if I bet that money on Exeter this year, then maybe I'd be 50 pence or whatever I chose to gamble down. At the bottom end of the table, the man next to me doesn't have a smile on his face when he sees Nottingham on 7 points. Of course, that game against Cardiff, absolutely huge, and Cardiff have given themselves a little bit of breathing space. Leeds Beckett, perhaps the surprise package of the tournament this season. It was one referee indecision that kept them in the league, and now here they are in mid-table, breathing down the necks of the likes of Hartpury and Bath, looking to get back into the playoffs, maybe looking to get back into the top 4. In terms of the fixtures then, 4 games kicking off this evening leads Beckett back to winning ways, but that is a tight one. I went down to Cardiff for the first Cardiff clash, and Cardiff University said bonus points will keep us in the league this season. They picked up another one there, so they'll move to 13 points. Hartpury against Exeter. Can Exeter continue that incredible form? They'll have a good game against Hartpury. Bath against Durham, one of the traditional fixtures of BUCS Super Rugby down there in the southwest. Cardiff Met hosts Swansea in a Welsh derby, and of course we are here under the lights on Epinal Way. It is Loughborough versus Nottingham, and great to have your company wherever you are watching around the world. And I say that only half joking as well. It is freezing here, but as always, a lot of the supporters will be relying on nothing more than beer jackets. We've got a few coats and scarves and hats there, as always. There's some fancy dress. I didn't even ask them what they've come as this evening, but they will be a raucous group. And whereas usually we are up in some kind of VIP lounge and we are warm and toasty. In fact, on the halfway line where you can see the lights there and the people milling about, that's usually where we commentate from. But we're the other side today, in amongst all of I nearly said the ruffians then, but they're not rough here in Loughborough, are they? They're a lovely bunch. Let's take a look at the teams then before we meet them out on the pitch for the first time. 2 changes in the front row. Alex O'Driscoll and Hayden Rees are given their first BUCS Super Rugby start. Owain Evans, the Wales under-20, comes in for George Taylor in the second row. And it's a back row reshuffle that sees a lot of leadership. Mario Picciardi coming in for Tommy Agbombong. Henry Lavin switches from 7 to 6. And the Saracens Academy fresher Luca Fahi's on the open side. Martin Webdale freshens things up at half-back as well. The experience of Charlie Breers accompanying the Leicester Tiger Morgan Meredith. The outside backs are unchanged from last week's defeat at King Coyd. And on the bench, Lucas Yule is in line to make his VSR debut, and club captain Nick Jennings wears 19, having made 50 National League appearances for the club last week. As for the University of Nottingham, it's pretty much that, but a little bit different. They welcome back Archie van der Fleer. He'll make a massive difference on the loose head side. There's experience in the back row as well, and real experience in the centres. Freddie Vaughan and Connor Moyse will cast their minds back and remember that incredible victory at Lady Bay. But now might be a good time to say hello to you, James Cherry, because what on earth is going on in the starting lineup and the bench here for Unruck?
Hi Dave, cheers for having me on, mate. So we've had a few changes in the warm-up. Jamie Nand rolled his ankle, so Joe Payne's going to come in to start at 10. And annoyingly, Lewis Richardson has been dealing with a chest infection this week, so he leaves us for Lewis Pickford, the hooker, who's going to be covering back row. And Ben Glanville is also going to come onto the bench to replace Jamie Nand. So we've now gone for a 6-2 split. Is it tactical masterclass? Is it because there's injuries? We'll find out after 80 minutes.
Hookers covering back row. You love to see it. All hookers think they're back rows ultimately, don't they?
Yeah. I think Pickford actually did start his career in Unruck as a back row and then slowly but surely was pushed forward and forward when we found out he could throw. So he'll be excited to get on. He was not meant to be involved today, and it will actually be his 40th first team cap today, so congrats to Lewis.
That's an incredible achievement in University Rugby. Here come the University of Nottingham. Archie van der Fleer there with the take deers, and Fred Marr accompanying him in the front row. They were a partnership that did really well for this team last year. You can't put too much emphasis on one player, but to have leaders like him and Rob Carmichael, of course, the England under-20, to have players of that calibre in a pack, it is going to make a difference, and it is going to raise everybody psychologically tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I think a massive thing with Archie that we had last year with him is he brings so much energy. He's so passionate about everything he does on and off the pitch. And although he is only one man, he brings people with him, which is just so important, Dave, especially in big games like this.
And I'd imagine you have been speaking about those high points of last year in the build-up to this, because you need to get some momentum from somewhere. I still say you're still in an Unruck tie, and that victory over Cardiff Met just showed what you can do. It's just how you replicate it, how you back it up.
Yeah, for sure. I think the thing with a few of these games, and we talk about those Lady Bay wins, is you harken back to those good days, those massive wins, and you think, how do we replicate that? And the likes of that Cardiff Met game last year, beating them at home was something that really turned our season around and gave us momentum going into kind of the playoffs in the last few games in the league. So hopefully we can see something similar like that today.
Well, here come Loughborough. The league champions, of course, in BUCS Super Rugby, playing catch-up this year. Everyone is playing catch-up with Exeter. Not just that, they're cricking their necks looking up at the undefeated team at the top of the table and looking to get back to winning ways as well after defeat at King Coyd last week. It's Wednesday night, we're under the lights. Great to have your company. Nottingham in the green and gold, Loughborough in the African violet with the white chevrons. It's an East Midlands derby. Hold on to your hats, we are underway. Really important for Nottingham to have a good start, a steady start, and to build on that. And this is an opportunity to exit. We've got Max Blinkhorn in at scrum half. Of course, he's filling the shoes of the fish, as he used to call him. We talked about the leadership in Nottingham, and he's another big loss. But that is the nature of university rugby. Good kick chase, good physicality to begin with. Let's see if Loughborough are going to play from inside their own half. Charlie Breers. Oh, that is a great shot. Charlie Breers in at scrum half. Was the first choice at the front end of last season, then got injured around Christmas time and quite cruelly fell down the pecking order. So he's back in at 9 tonight. Chance to really stake a claim for that jersey. And that was Garrett, his first challenge under the high ball. And Nottingham just inside the Loughborough half. Fred Marr. Joe Payne in at 10. What a place to make your first start. Sometimes, though, that's a benefit, isn't it? Where you're thinking about your first start, all of a sudden someone hands you the 10 jersey and says, off you go, sink or swim, young man.
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch Payno play today. He's come through the Queen's Academy setup in that Trinity School side that did it all a few years ago. He's a real live wire at 10. He's quite similar to Max Brown, which has a big man to put on a young man, but he plays at the line and he plays an exciting brand of rugby, so my fingers are crossed for him tonight.
Well, that Trinity School side that did it all was coached by an ex-Loughborough club captain, Ian Kench, now the forwards coach at Richmond. I think he's the team manager at Oxford University as well. I keep getting onto him to say that the winners of the varsity should play the winners of BUCS Super Rugby, but they keep bottling it. Here's Cusick breaking through. First clean break. Jacob Cusick takes Loughborough into the 22. Now Luca Fahy, the Saracens man, closing in on the line. Great tackle to stop him just short, but Loughborough over. Have they grounded it? Yes, they have, and Charlie Breers opens the scoring here at Epinal Way.
I think that's a yellow card as well for Connor Moyes, Dave.
Well, is it a penalty try? The referees run under the post, but it all started here. Jacob Cusick, first with the break, then with the composure.
Yeah, like you say, great tackle there from Will Rampley to stop the try, and I think Connor doesn't quite get back on, or he's adjudged not to be back on side there. That might be a harsh call. I don't know what your thoughts are, Dave. Yeah, he's gone for the penalty try, like you say.
Well, the arm went up immediately.
Penalty try.
Breers was stopped short, so it is a penalty try.
Let's go, lads. Penalty try.
And as a result, a yellow card.
Great to see Jacob Cusick tearing up in BUCS Super Rugby, Dave. He's also on the Leicester Tigers Senior Academy programme, and I played with him a few times at Nottingham Rugby Club last year and the year before. Really talented young player, did very well for the England under-20s over in South Africa this summer, I believe it was.
He scored 2 tries in that mental game with Ireland, that 34-all draw. Got everyone very excited. So we're back underway, 7-0. Plenty of heat coming from the spectators. And a kick to compete, one for Payne to chase, and it is a good chase as well, but Gourley offloads that to Morgan Meredith, another Leicester Tigers man, and Langston, another player it's good to see back in the saddle. Had a nightmare year last year with injury. Former England students player, of course.
First man, play on.
And Nottingham win the penalty at the breakdown, and a good response.
Great work from Conor O'Byrne over that ball. Outstanding turnover, just the sort of thing you need when you've had a yellow card like that, for a player to stand up and really change the momentum of the phase.
And an excellent kick for the corner as well.
Jamie Whitwell, hell of a nudge, young man. It's interesting that now with Jamie and not playing, we've changed over the kicking responsibilities as well, so just another bit of adversity for the boys.
In the week, doing my research for the players, I thoroughly enjoyed watching Jamie Whitwell's Cheshire 1810 montage, actually.
Hold back 10,
Yeah,
please, lads.
very
Hold
good
back
one.
10.
Made it himself as well, good lad.
First opportunity then for Nottingham. Chance to bounce straight back from the penalty try. Down a man as well. And they've gone to Robert Carmichael. Big languid lock. But look at this counter from Loughborough.
Backwards.
That's Lavin over the ball. And Payne in at scrum half. Carmichael with the carry, having secured the line-out ball. So Freddie Vaughan goes for the crossfield kick. Callan's there. Where's it going to bounce? Oh, just beats him. But first phase invention from Nottingham.
Mark 2.
Great maul defence from Loughborough there. Absolutely smashed us back. Need to be a bit more resilient there. Standing up a bit for me with the front row. Need to stay low, chest down, get forward.
Don't see that particularly often, do you? Not at this level. So Hayden Rees, his first BUCS Super Rugby start, his first BUCS Super Rugby line-out. Vice chairman of the club. Remember a few years ago, Bath had a nightmare season. They missed out on the playoffs. They finished 9th, and they used 8 hookers. Oh, Nottingham! Brilliant defence, smothering that ball and giving themselves a great chance. We talked about Rob Carmichael as a line-out operator, but it's defence and attack.
Yeah, I think that Rob Carmichael's done well to attack the seam there, but it's Archie van der Fleer. He's completely ripped off the front of that line-out. You'll see it here on the replay. Gets straight round, hands on ball, doesn't change his bind, and then when that collapses, he just wedges himself in between the man and the ball.
Speaking of wedgies, Fergus Dick had the opposite of one of those, didn't he?
Remember, lads, slow and patient, please. Let's go!
Not the first full moon we've seen tonight.
It's good to have you back, Dave.
Coming up to 7 minutes gone. Another great chance for Nottingham. Talked about Archie van der Fleer. He's earned the scrum.
Bind.
Will he be able to solidify it in the front row with Marr against Tristan Smith?
All out.
Scrappy ball, but it is with Freddie Vaughan, captain in the team this evening. Blinkhorn finds Carmichael. Oh, the offload just about sticks. Fred Marr chopped down. And this time, Hiscock-Smith, 5 metres short. Can Nottingham get something here? Little step inside. There's no space, though. But more phases. Rampley. Blinkhorn. Van der Fleer. Bounces off the shoulder. And then the clear out comes from Carmichael. Still a bit messy, still a bit narrow, but still with Nottingham. Oh, Fergus Dick thinks he's got hands on that, and he has! Defensive perseverance from Loughborough, and Nottingham leave the 22 empty-handed.
Yeah, it got a little bit unstructured there, I think, Dave. Went out in 1s and 2s a bit and got turned over.
What would you change in that environment?
I think you've just got to have a bit more intent. We got a bit of front football after the scrum, but then here we just touch disconnected, going in 1s and 2s, no momentum, and at that point it's so easy to defend. I'd question if he's rolled away though there. He's really obstructed the clear out of Conor O'Byrne.
Tell you what, Nottingham have brought some supporters as well, giving a bit of heat to Hayden Rees. Oh, Lavin, straight down the channel of Joe Payne, who acts as a speed bump, and then Nottingham can turn the ball over. This breakdown battle already superb.
Tell you what, Joe Payne is impressing me already. Henry Lavin is a big ball carrier, 25 years old now, whatever he is, coming straight down, channel A ball, and Payno has sat him on his arse. Good lad.
25.
I think 24. I might have given him. He was a year above me when I went down to Leicester Tigers for the first time.
You were judging him on his hairline.
No, never, Dave.
So unless you got a hot drink in there. God, it's cold.
Jamie Whitwell
My hands
opting for the posts to try and calm things down, get some points on the board. And of course, it was penalty goals that was so vital in that win at Lady Bay last season.
One thing we ID'd with Loughborough in the pre-game, Dave, and you saw it at Cardiff Met last week, is they're not a great team playing from behind. They are so good in structure, so good when they can play on top of you, but if you can stay with them, or even better ahead of them, like we kind of did towards the end of that Lady Bay game, it did help.
A very different kind of respect for the kicker here at Epinal Way, but Jamie Whitwell makes sure the noise stops from Loughborough and starts from Nottingham. It's 7-3 after 10 minutes. That's a good take by Carmichael. Back underway, just drinking in all this noise from the crowd. Great to hear. Of course, not a long journey from Nottingham to Loughborough. There's some great derby fixtures in this league now. Blinkhorn. Well, that's been left behind. Just about got away with it though, and now the bouncing ball finds its way out to Cusick. One break already, this time drops it on the toe for Sam Kildun to chase. But Whitwell's there. Oh, great chase by Cusick, great shot by Cusick. Around the nipples, give or take.
Okay, use it, please.
Those new tackle laws, eh?
Van der Fleer.
Okay, use it and be quicker this time, please. That's enough now, that's enough, that's enough.
And Blinkhorn.
Good nudge.
Hops to put it out. Do you know what? We might get one in the commentary position. You know, at some point, if we do, it's your ball.
Good exit that from Max. Really good kick.
Well, that was something you highlighted as very important today.
I just remember this, first game last year when we came down to Loughborough. We let them dominate us a little bit in the kicking battle. Charlie Titcombe absolutely kicked us to death. So if we can stay... Go on, Rob. Good lad.
Rob Carmichael has forced a little bit of partisan commentary from James Cherry.
Oh, that's a good penalty, yeah.
You can get excited. You can get excited. But no one will be upset with you if Loughborough do something good and you say that's good as well.
Really good work from Rob. It's something we've been ideating this week, is trying to get him up more in the line-outs, just being really decisive, picking a spot and going. So hence my outburst. More to see Rob, a young man developing, doing stuff that he's going to be happy with.
Well, we've talked about the Leicester Tigers at length, and he's part of the senior academy. They're a couple of Prem Rugby Cup appearances. In fact, playing in that Leicester Tigers team, it was like a who's who of BUCS Super Rugby, wasn't it? Because you had Carnduff and Mans. And he's not involved with BUCS Super Rugby, but the younger Chesham, who is one of the biggest humans I've ever laid eyes on.
Yeah, Lewis is one that again, when I was down at Nottingham training last year alongside playing BSR, he'd come down a lot and play, and he's a hell of a line-out operator. He gets up so well for a big man. And it looks like this year he's really developing his physicality alongside that, looking to be a bit of a force like his brother.
Well, how did he get to training? Because I reckon 6 giant steps from Leicester and he'd probably be in Lady Bay.
I'll stick him on the 10, mate.
He captained the 20s.
He did, yeah, he did.
Loughborough not having it all their own way here. Speaking to Paul Westgate in the week, he said that set piece was something that Nottingham needed to improve, and so far, so good. They've just about got away with that one. Gilbert pounces on it just before I've given him the full commentator's curse. Rampley straight into the mix. Marr. Great carry from Marr. Now he's backed up by the big men. Really good physical contest. Carmichael takes one with him, then another. Owain Evans. Those two played against each other in the under-20 Six Nations for Wales and England respectively. And that one's nudged in behind, chased by Vaughan, and look at this turn of pace here from Gawley. Gawley up over halfway, then brought down.
Advantage.
That man Joe Payne again, Dave.
He's having it
down, turns it over.
He's having a great debut. Here's Joe Payne.
Okay, advantage over for the knock-on, clean possession.
Marr again, tries to flip that one out the back, and scruffy, but still with Green.
Okay,
really
use it,
struggling
please.
a man down here to get the ball to the wide channels. You can see coaches trying to call the ball out to Will Callan on this left wing. And without Conor Moyes in at 13, that link man, we just can't seem to get it out there.
Well, he must be due back on. Oh, the touch on that, and again, Nottingham just getting those little breaks at the moment, and it's helping them. Lavin called off that. Another good, strong carry. But the ball just stuck between the 15s and stuck between the 10s at the moment in that square of the pitch where not an awful lot's happening. So with that, Blinkhorn's going to send it to the skies.
Onside.
Another kick to compete, another good take. It was well chased, but quick ball means Loughborough can come away with it. Now Kildan, first touch for him. He's got hot heels when he gets going, and he's taken the outside here. He actually scored a brilliant try in that Lady Bay game, didn't he? But it's been turned over again here. And defensively, Nottingham coping.
Yeah, I think if I was a Loughborough fan, I'd be a bit frustrated by the ball retention. That's the second or third time they've made a half break and turned the ball over. Great work from Gourlay at 15, like you say. I think also involved with the Leicester Tigers academy setup. You know, under the high ball, really, really strong.
Oh, that's gone through the legs. Here we go. One for Kildan to chase again, but the scrum half's going to get there first. But the reason he got there first is because he was offside.
And breathe.
You're in front of the kick.
Yes, like I say again, ball retention, it seems to be killing both sides. You spoke earlier, Dave,
Clean
about the conditions. Cold hands, boys kind of knocking it on, balls spilling out the sides of ruck and such. Need to hold on to those.
Yeah, so Gourlay, he is with Tigers now, but he's a former Sale Shark and played quite a bit for Coldy last year in that breakthrough championship season they had. They're a success story, aren't they? Beating Ealing last year, unbelievable.
I am a big fan of the Coldy, the whole club. I mean, I've been up there a few times now with Nottingham, and it's a proper club.
Yeah.
You know, the chairman's coming to away games, say, you know, it is a proper club, and it's good to see that still going strong in the second division of English rugby.
Yeah, there aren't any airs and graces there. It's not particularly luxurious facilities, is it?
No, not at all, but it is what it is. It's a proper, down-to-earth club where people work hard for each other, the players work hard for each other, the fans get out in force, rain or shine, and I think there's a lot to be said for that.
Gonna be a quick fix,
Gonna have a break in play here. Is that Fred Marr down, getting some medical attention? Don't want to lose him. See the replacement tight head today. Here's another one, Kane Fleary. He was in that Trinity group as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, we've got quite a good Trinity contingent in the club at the moment. Obviously, Kane and Joe playing today. A couple of their mates, Ross Sinclair, Joe Connolly, kind of all involved in that Trinity group, all came over around the same time and hopefully having a good impact on the club. But it does look like Fred is going to keep going.
And Will Peart-Smith, who is in that team as well, he's at Loughborough, but he's not broken through into the BSR group yet. But we will we'll wait and see, because he looks like an excellent prospect in the back row.
Starting at 7 in the Nat 2 team quite a lot, I believe.
Which at 18 is bonkers. 16 minutes gone. Loughborough 7, Nottingham 3. An early penalty try and a Jamie Whitwell penalty, and a really good physical contest in the opening 16 minutes.
Oh.
Stop, 9! Yeah, take him back. Yeah.
There is a Loughborough player in serious trouble off the ball here, but in the meantime Rosen is carving it up the wing.
No, he's re-gapping it and gone backwards.
He's got mad gas when he gets going. Probably the quickest player in this Loughborough setup. That's Oliver Gilbert.
Oh, this has got to go wide.
Yeah, I can see him.
Got to go wide, boys. Numbers on. Not off the boot, though.
Well, the kick is skewed to Sam Kildan, who loves running at broken field, but he is dealt with. Great shot by Will Rampley. Potential for a mismatch. Not this time. Kuzik. Oh, lovely dummy by Kuzik, but he runs back into a solid defence.
Clear release. Both arms
No
off the
clear
ball,
release, but again, it's so competitive at that breakdown.
No, I think that's something that will definitely play into Nottingham's strengths, especially. We've got a real good Jackling back row out today. And Will Rampley at 5 as well, loves to have a dabble over the ball. But, I mean, similarly, Loughborough, Henry Lavin, Mario Picciardi, Luca Fahy. It will be a good battle across that back 5 today.
You love to see it. Great news for Loughborough. Hayden Rees was down in some discomfort, but I think it was just a stinger because he's limping back into position.
I was worried at first it was a knee. He went down clutching his knee, and on these artificial turfs, they do get you.
Well, it wasn't on an artificial one, but a former BUCS Super Rugby superstar, Max Nagy, broke his leg last week when his stud stuck in the ground. Fingers crossed for him to get back to it soon enough. He's having a great season, you know, in the URC. Scored some unbelievable tries for the Ospreys.
Not the only BSR alum doing quite well in the URC. Talking Loughborough ex-club captain Teddy Leatherbarrow obviously just voted Scarlet's Player of the Month.
Absolutely. Well, I've been lucky enough to cover a few of the games, and he's really been putting it about, and it's fantastic to see him going well down there.
Yeah, my only feedback on him so far was from Mr. Van der Fleer last week or the week before against Leinster. Obviously, he was opposite Josh, Archie's cousin, and well, he wasn't as good as Josh, but he did all right, which is a pretty good compliment from Archie.
Well, in his first few games, he's been playing 7. He's gone up against Josh Van der Fleer, Jack Morgan, free kick at scrum time. Josh Van der Fleer, Jack Morgan and Thomas Young. Those were the first 3 open sides that he went up against.
Yeah, the fact that Teddy's mixing it with those guys and doing so well, credit to him. And a credit again to, what players from this league can go on and do afterwards.
Oh, it's getting closer to us. It's getting closer to us.
Don't know if you have watched much this year of us, Dave, but Will Rampley, our number 5, has been so impressive this year. Fresher in terms of the university, but 21 years old. Came through Cambridge Rugby Club in that one, and he's been unbelievable, mate.
Yeah, they sent him on loan, didn't they? And he got Players Player of the Year for the club team that he went out to. Very popular clubman. Doing an excellent job in the engine room as Loughborough cut through, and Langston, he's got the man inside him, could have thrown the dummy. Instead, he's put in Charlie Breers. He was denied last time and it was a penalty try. He won't be denied this time. And as we approach the halfway point of the first half, finally, Loughborough cross the whitewash.
Hell of a line from James Langston, eh?
Yeah,
Big man coming onto a ball at pace.
Just that balance. I'm waiting for the up and down movement to settle before I say set.
We'll take another look at this. There have been a few signs that it could come for Loughborough. First it was Kusick, but now with that clean ball off the top. Let's see this line. Oh, that short ball there from Kusick. I think he could have gone on his own there, you know.
Yeah, I think this is one of those ones, Dave, if you go on your own and don't score that, you're never allowed back into the changing room. So, really smart play there from Loughborough, just picking on the 13 in defence for Nottingham, overloading him, decision-making, and I think Connor had about 3 different blokes to defend there and picked one of the 2 that wasn't getting the ball.
Morgan Meredith to add the extras. Oh, he's come under some pressure there, but he's managed it. Loughborough 14, Nottingham 5. This is literally Tigers versus Tigers tonight, because he's involved too, isn't he?
Yeah, I think we've got obviously 2, and then they've got Morgan, Elliott. Who else did we speak about earlier? Or is it just the 2? Henry Lavin, ex-Leicester Tiger.
Always amazes me that he's back playing after missing an incredible 593 days rugby. I mean, I know that's 2 years ago now, but heck of a story to get back on the pitch.
He's a top man, Lav. I played with him a bit over the summer at Northampton Saints. He came down for a few weeks and he was absolutely class.
Oh yeah, played for Saints, did you? Glad you got to drop that in. And here's Will Rampley with the carry there. Oh, somebody is just running huge line. But instead it's Joe Payne who takes it on. Now Oliver Gilbert, he's coughed that up. Alex O'Driscoll pounces on it. Scrum advantage here for Loughborough. Didn't last too long, spun out by Hayden Rees. And Langston again, chipped over the top by Meredith. A whole host of bodies trying to get on this. It's been missed. And then it's been dotted down. Disastrous defence for Unruck, and Loughborough in for try number 3.
We were talking about it earlier, just valuing the ball. I think this offload from Ollie Gilbert, I see what he's trying to do there, but putting a lot of pressure on Sammy, and then we got to reload. Rob's calling boys over in defence, and really fair play to Loughborough for executing this. Really smart kick from Morgan Meredith to put pressure on our back 3. And who finishes this one off?
Fahy, I think, has got the last touch, because Callan's just been bamboozled by the bounce.
A good lad. Good number 7, following up the play, working hard.
Tortoise on the hair, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was the last one there. And you're right about 7s. They just seem to be able to time things well. But transition ball, you know, turn that ball over, and that's something that Nottingham have got to be aware of. What's really important now is that for the next 5 or 10 minutes, they get themselves back into this contest. Meredith, 1 from 1. Seems barely moments ago that he had the ball on the tee before, but sends it goalwards. And it's the same result, Loughborough 21, Nottingham 3. I mean, that feels like a little bit of a freebie for Loughborough. They'll be delighted with how they executed it, but a very frustrating one for Nottingham.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a theme this year, just the way we've compounded errors. So, you know, their offload doesn't go to hand, and then we allow kind of that ball to bounce around in our backfield and concede. It's something we need to really need to work on as a side.
No, it's under the foot still. Close.
Ball back with Loughborough then. Bumped up by Owain Evans.
That's enough, let go. Let go.
And then Fergus Dick adds his length.
Yeah, I'm out,
and Charlie Breers.
Let go, lads, let go.
Oh, that's another one that's been let to bounce by Whitwell. And then Nottingham back in their 22. Breers, try scorer.
Yeah, they're fine.
Gooley gets past the first tackler, and then he's brought down by his opposite number. Fahy. Meredith. Kuzik. Bit too much width on that, and Langston trying to back himself around the outside. A nice stop and start. Takes him up to 10. "15 minutes to go till half time.
It is different, isn't it, being on this side?
Oh yeah.
Last year when we were over in the what is it, the power base.
Well, we can see the prawn sandwich brigade there. I wonder what snacks they've got on the go. Although it was probably weird for them when they were just invited to watch the rugby, and they've got us two shouting like maniacs.
Just while he's getting sorted, there's a lot of nonsense going on around the rucks. Players holding on to each other. If I see it again, I'm just going to penalise it. So can you have a quick word before we get started? Have a word with the forward. It's definitely both, so it's not one-sided. Is this a library? Is this a library? Is this a library? It's getting silly. Is this a library? I don't want players holding on to each other. Is this a library? Is this a library? Let's see, lads. Good.
All right, set scrum. Be Nottingham ball.
Interesting to see how this will go. What has it been so far? 1 free kick for Notts and then 2 that have just been played away. So interesting to see on our ball if Archie and Fred have a go here.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Stay on.
As Loughborough look to get the shove on, but it's out by Nottingham, and that's a great carry, really good carry. Garrett coming off his wing, making some meters.
Advantage, slowing the ball.
And he's earned them a penalty, should they need it. Pishardi makes the tackle. And then the forward pass means we will go back. And another chance to nudge for the corner, get some territory. That's a bit more like it though.
Yeah, great carry from Alex, obviously first year coming in from, I think it was Denstone College and Leicester Tigers. Really impressive, got his first start a few weeks ago down at Cardiff. And he's just really taking to the club and the whole first team well.
Stick him on the 22, mate.
And then Whitwell, he doesn't quite make it into the 22, but still a little bit of territory here. Just one venture into the 22 so far for Nottingham. Eventually led to 3 points, but going to need some more than that. Carmichael rises high, easy to do when you have to duck to get in the door. Going to do something with the first phase here. That's Callan. Oh, great line by Callan. Gets inside Gourley. And now they look to build again. That's Sammy Lee. He presents good ball speed here. Fred just about holds on to it. Look for a second, like he could fumble it. Managed to find the sticky mitts. But this time it's Fergus Dick over the ball. Could not move him.
Number 3, holding on.
I think that might be Owen Evans. I think him and Fergus have swapped numbers.
Bionic knees.
Ooh, heads up.
Your line.
Again, just lost a bit of momentum there in the red zone. Johan just got a good first phase. Will Callan really smart carry on the ends and just wasted that a little bit.
Short numbers in the line-out. 4 here for Loughborough. He's looked pretty good with his darts so far as Hayden Rees.
Hold in front 2. And you.
Meredith.
Okay.
Oh, great feet. Jamie Whitwell spotted the gap.
1, 2.
Oh, Blinkhorn. He's got Sammy Lee offering himself. Taking that ball quite deep, and the gain line's a long way away from there. Oh. I think the frustration from Van der Fleer after that Mar knock on. Looked like he'd won the collision, didn't it, Mar? But and the ball goes forward.
Yeah, something that we're trying to work on with Fred. He's so strong and so physical, but it's about putting it all together. So a couple of carries in a row there where he's got a bit kind of caught in between. So hopefully we'll see him grow into this game a little bit as it goes on.
Great attacking platform here for Loughborough. They've got 2 men to the right of the scrum, so Gourlay and Kildun. The rest of the back line packed to the left, so Meredith waiting at first receiver. Then Kuzik, Langston and Rosen out there on the wing. First things first, secure the ball from the scrum. It's Pashadi, and they've come to the right-hand side. Breers. Now Gourlay attacks the 22.
Not held, he's not held.
Tripped more than tackled, and it means he can go again, Elliot Gourlay.
Tackle, let go, let go.
It's another good few metres. Now Breers. He's got Meredith waiting. Oh, what a shot! Superb Van der Fleer!
Number 5. Knock on, offside number 5.
Oh my! He has emptied him.
Nice of him to help him up after as well. Good to see him there in tandem with his housemate Oliver Gilbert as well. I'm sure that'll be getting played on the TV in Hungerton tomorrow.
What's great about that
That's yours, yeah.
is it's Tristan Smith who he's tackled, and they've gone eyeball to eyeball in the scrum.
Him and Trizzy have a bit of history as well. Tristan, obviously an ex-Saracens senior academy boy, quite close friends with Archie through the last few years, so I think there'll be a bit more in that one than just a tackle.
And once again, Nottingham survive. Great defence. Well, brutal defence. Now looking to attack the seam and getting through. Freddie Vaughan. Another excellent carry from him, but he'll be out of the next phase. Fred Marr won't, though. And he goes straight at Tristan Smith, who's got a target on his back for Loughborough right now. Bit more zip, bit more venom in this attack from Unruck. And Marr goes for another carry. Just outside the 22. Oh, it is going to be a tasty battle between those two, isn't it? Bit of front row on front row violence. We love to see it.
Off the head, play on! Off the head!
It always goes one of 2 ways with the front row. You either get front row union and they're really nice to each other, or they absolutely try and take each other's heads off. There is not much in between. Here we go again. Oh, he's done him on the sidestep that time.
Dancing feet. What's he, 100 kg plus VAT?
What, VDF? About 120, I think.
Goodness me.
Or if you trust the scales at Nottingham Rugby, 151.
That one's a bit overcooked, so a mark can be called.
Let's go, please.
What are they singing? What's wonderful?
Lenton Town, so it's the student area where the University of Nottingham boys all live.
inside knowledge. Thanks.
Yeah.
Lads, it's not a head injury.
It's
we're not
full of
stopping.
something, but I can't quite make it out.
It's wonderful, I think.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It's wonderful. So the penalty. Loughborough back up to halfway.
Good to see Notts getting a strike play off and then keeping on top of Loughborough. First time we've really seen that in this game. Great line from Vaughan. He loves that seam.
Talks about Lady Bay a lot. Was it him who scored the winning try off the bench?
Yes, it was. I've been banned from talking about Lady Bay by an anonymous contact.
It's important to celebrate these big nights, and that was a great game as well. Another good line. Oh, Connor Moyes, nearly. Nice to see him migrate into midfield. Spent a lot of time on the wing last year. Van der Fleer again opts for the step this time and gets through. He's just making valuable meters, and then Blinkhorn, his eyes lit up then. Lavin gets swung round by Mark.
Knock on advantage. Okay, advantage over. Carried back into the half.
Kuzik. How often do we see that on a knock-on advantage? The second the referee says advantage over, there's the mistake. That one's out on the full.
Yeah, very happy not to be back in that situation. Fergus Dick looks like he's struggling a bit. Be a shame. I think in the season opener when we played them, he had to go off at half time because he was dealing with something. A real shame to see him go off again.
Yeah, mainstay of the team last season. He's unlucky to miss out though. Didn't quite make it into that BSR final team, did he? But it was so competitive. But he did play in that game down at Kincoy campus where Loughborough managed to secure the league title for the first time in the BSR era.
Yeah, I think with Ferg, he fell last year into that really useful utility role, second row, back row. And then for the final, when you got second row, Scopes, Wardell, who else was it? Scopes, Wardell, and George Taylor. And then back row, obviously Teddy, Lav, Mario. They had unbelievable back five players coming out of all sorts. So when you're Ferg and you're putting in solid shift every week and covering lots of positions, it's good. But when you've got all that talent to pick from, it's an evil world we live in as back five players, Dave.
It's the perfect player for a 6-2, which when you're in a professional club and looking to put a season together, it's great. But when you're playing BUCS Super Rugby and you want to be involved in the big dance.
But great to see that he's kicking on tonight.
Of course. And he'll be even more determined to help Loughborough get there this season, so he does get a go at the big time. Another excellent line as Nottingham look to build something. Can they get a try before half-time? Carmichael. Fadmar again, he's been busy, isn't he? This time with the pop. Really good work rate from the tight head. Joe Payne.
Advantage.
12 on 12 there. Kuzik on Vaughan. Another advantage coming though. So Nottingham will have the chance to kick themselves into the Loughborough half.
13 tackle for ball.
Langston, the guilty party that time.
Okay, no worries. We'll get him checked out.
And more medical attention required. Keep them busy, don't they?
Yeah. Very happy not to be a physio as well.
Oh my goodness.
When he gets a touch, he's got a head injury.
This chat that's happening with the forward pack here, can you give us an insight into the kinds of things that are being said in an unruck gathering?
Yeah, so hopefully that'll be Rob telling the boys what the line-out call is going to be, depending on where the ball goes out. Ideally hoping inside the 22, then you kind of get the strike move in, which is why Freddie Vaughan was involved as well. Rob gets the line-out in, so ideally we can go quickly from the penalty to the line-out, strike quickly before Loughborough set, but I think they've now recalled it, making that all redundant. Yeah, general idea is get the call in nice and early, run to the line, get playing as soon as possible.
Well, Loughborough with a great lead here, but if you hadn't seen the scoreboard, you'd think it was much closer than it is. In terms of that midfield battle, both teams imposing themselves. An early penalty try Then Charlie Breer's got one after a line break, and then Loughborough like lightning from the turnover, and so far so good in terms of them defensively. It's not as clean as they'd have wanted it, but Sammy Lee's the quickest to react, and Nottingham can build from a little bit further out than they'd have liked. That's Gilbert with the tape deals. Oh, another excellent line, but what a tackle by Kusick. Carmichael, it's a long way down for him to be acting scrum half. Payne, Van der Fleer, steps off the left foot, but gets met this time, just about brought out by Evans. Again, Loughborough can creep. Carmichael is there on his own. Manages to do enough to secure the ball. Payne takes the ball very deep, Payne. Still with Nottingham here. That bouncing ball causing a bit of chaos for Loughborough. I think they're over it again, but then called off. Quick ball here for Nottingham. Oh, Loughborough, have they conceded a penalty? Yes, they have, slowing that ball down. Maybe it might go further too. Might not need to though, because here's O'Byrne. O'Byrne gives it out to Will Callan. Will Callan still going. This is as close as Nottingham have been. Driving over, can they get the ball down? They're over the line.
That's held up, coming back.
Oh, Loughborough with some defending to do. Nottingham so close.
Yeah, really nice bit of play there from Alex Garrett down the right-hand side, getting us going forward after we stagnated a bit in the middle, and Will Callan pretty close to finishing that off. I think Freddie went for the big cut-out pass there. It maybe just needed to go through the hands a little bit, pick off a few defenders, keep them honest rather than that. But, I mean, it's positive signs, and like you say, I think if it wasn't for that breakaway try and that set-piece first phaser, it's, you know, 7-3 and we're in more of a contest here. But as it is, we've got a bit of a way to go from a Nottingham perspective.
Still a 3-score game. Worth noting that Nottingham took that 3 just after Loughborough scored the 7, and they were down to 14 at the time as well. So it was a sensible decision. Exactly how sensible remains to be seen. Carmichael sets it. They've gone up the short side quickly. Oh, a 1-2 and over! Lee to Gilbert to Lee, and Nottingham get their first try of the game.
Good lad, Samuel. I'm not sure, was it 1-2 or was it just, I think he might have just run him over. Sam Lee might have just peeled and gone himself, but that's nice to see that trickery. Same play that worked against them in the first game of the season.
Needed to come, and it did.
Lads, you might want to move out the way the kick out.
First unruck try for Sammy Lee as well. Congrats.
Does he have to? Is there any kind of? Has he gone here?
I think he just goes little dummy.
No.
Oh, it is a 1-2. Good
Lovely
ball skills,
1-2.
Ollie Gilbert.
That's a great second touch.
That's the half, yeah.
Ollie, do you know what? He's done really well. Both of them have done well for neither to be a forward pass there.
Yeah, Ollie's he's been working pretty hard this year. It's been a bit of a three-way battle between him, Lewis Pickford and Michael Cantle for that 2 jersey, which last year was certainly Lewis's. So good to see that competition within the squad to kind of get better.
Jamie Whitwell getting a Loughborough welcome. And right on the stroke of half-time, Nottingham give themselves a lifeline. Still a 2-score game, but a great contest here. East Midlands derby once again delivering with blood and thunder. But at half-time, it is Loughborough 21, Nottingham 8. We're going to have a look at the tries shortly. I'm not sure if James is over there trying to make some friends as well. But in the meantime, your thoughts on the first 40 minutes?
Yeah, I think like we spoke about just before that last try, it was fairly balanced in terms of open play, but Loughborough just far more clinical. When they got their opportunities, they turned them into tries and converted tries. Whereas, you know, outside of that penalty and that nice try at the end from Sammy, Nottingham obviously only on 8 points. So learnings for the second half, got to be a bit more clinical, got to value the ball a bit more. But I think going into half-time, Nottingham won't be unhappy with that.
What did you like about Loughborough?
I mean, we spoke about it pre-game, but just like, and then again, but the clinicality, mate. I mean, you know, that first phase try from Charlie Breers on the back of James Langston's line break. The work of Elliot Gourlay at full-back under the high ball I think has been exemplary. If there was one thing for Loughborough that I could say is maybe their set piece hasn't been as dominant as you'd maybe expect with the scrum and line out as it was maybe last year or throughout the season, but that's a credit to the likes of Archie van der Fleer coming back into the side and being a real dominant presence there.
There is something going on the pitch here, and I can't hear it very well, and I think I'm glad that I can't hear it very well. So we talked about Loughborough. What did you like about Nottingham?
Yeah, like I say, I think Joe Payne at 10, you spoke about him taking it quite deep, but in defence he's been outstanding, chopping lads down first phase. In attack he's really added something. I think Alex Garrett on the right wing's been a real bright spark, and the forwards are the likes of Archie van der Fleer carrying hard, putting on some footwork, Oliver Gilbert, Sammy Lee all carrying well, Will Rampley also, just giving us that bit of impetus we need. But if there could be again one work on, I just think we really need to work on finding our shape a little bit more in the 22. We get a bit caught in ones and twos, and it's something we definitely need to work on.
And as a clubman yourself, in fact we're going to talk about that shortly, because I really want to hear your thoughts on Joe Payne. But before that, let's have a look at the tries. Loughborough carved Nottingham open early on with Kuzik. He's hit a great line there, but in fact a couple of defenders have just taken each other out like 10 pins. You mentioned him. He's been on the academy scene for a while. He's very well thought of, and he's made an immediate impact in the game.
Yeah, Jacob's, like I say, great player. Been playing rugby at a high level for a very long time, and I think he's probably having a standout year. So, you know, great to see him tearing up on the BUCS Super Rugby scene for the first time this year.
And then, yeah, just short. We thought Charlie Breers had gone over, but it was actually a penalty try. This was the second one, and this will have felt like a well-earned one for Loughborough. And when a first phase move like this comes off, it's a coach's dream, isn't it?
Yeah, Marv will be very happy wherever he is, but it's just one of those ones, you overload the 13 channel, it's a nightmare to defend, and like I say, when you've got a man at 100-odd kegs running downhill like James Langston, however quick he is, it's hard to defend.
He put in some good time in the gym, obviously, when he was injured for all that time. Then this was fantastic, really. Proper heads-up, turnover ball. Nottingham always come to play, and sometimes it is their undoing, but this was really well executed by Loughborough.
Yeah, that nudge through there from Morgan, just allowing kind of the bouncing ball to do its thing, and we spoke about him earlier, Luke Farhage, really good to follow up on that. Ball bounces back past Will Callan, just dotting it down.
So that was the third try. That made it 21 points to 3. And then just before half-time, Nottingham got the try that they'll probably feel as though they deserve, because there were a number of visits to the 22. This was nice.
Yeah, really nice soft skills there from Sammy and Ollie. I mean, we work on it a lot. You know, we talk about the unruck way. It's very much about ball skills, speed of the play, and to see, you know, a hooker and a 7 combining like that in a 5-metre channel, that'll make Paul very happy, I'll tell you that for free.
21 points to 8 at half-time here at Epinal Way. I can see James down there. Not sure who he's making friends with, but I'm sure we'll catch up. I'm sure we'll catch up with him shortly. We're not going to have time to go to the Prawn Sandwich Brigade, I'm afraid, but I can see them up there. Look at them. They've even taken their coats off just to show off.
Oh.
And it is bitterly, bitterly cold here, but we have got a game on our hands. If Nottingham get the next score, it is going to be serious. But we'll catch up later. I've got more to talk to you about. But in the meantime, James, you're down there making friends. Who have you got, mate? Oh, he's got Gally.
At Loughborough University, that's what I'm doing, Dave. I've managed to grab Gally away from the nice warm rooms inside the university. So thank you for joining me out here in the freezing cold. Before we unpack the game that we just witnessed in front of us, I'm going to update everyone at home, including yourself, on some other BUCS Super Rugby fixtures. The latest from these games: Bath are currently trailing at home 35-19 to Durham. The scoreline in Durham's favour there. Hartpury are winning 24-10 against Exeter. That's the latest. And Exeter, remember, the only team that are currently undefeated in this BUCS Super Rugby table. And Cardiff Mets, who are the other live stream game at the moment this evening, are 31-7 up against Swansea at home on King Coyd campus. Ali, any fixtures in particular jump out to you?
I think that extra result, I wouldn't count them out yet. I think they're a seriously strong side this year. Very impressive in every game I've seen them play. That Durham score away at Bath is very impressive. I think Bath are a good side. So Durham to go down there, it's a long old way for them. So it's an impressive scoreline. And Kincoy is one of the toughest places in the league to go. We all know that.
Oh, you're just trying to butter me up now, Gally. We all know that Kincoy is my favourite place. But no, like you rightly say, it's a long drive back to Durham, so that scoreline really good for them. And Hartpury, I mean, if they can hold that out against Exeter, that's a very good win for them, but never write them off. They're league champions for a reason. Now, let's turn our attention to this game. So far, it's been all Loughborough, it might seem, to the untrained eye. But actually, for those first 10 minutes, Nottingham were really in this fixture, weren't they? Probably had Loughborough a bit worried.
Yeah, I think so. I think we were saying just before that the league table probably doesn't reflect how good Nottingham are. There are no poor teams in BSR, so you definitely can't come into it and thinking because the league table is what it is that we're gonna dominate the fixture. I think they've always been pretty electric in the backs, and when they can get that moving and get the ball from their forwards and get a good platform, that they're always pretty strong. I think when we started doing the simple things well is when we sort of saw our game come into fruition a little bit.
Talking about electrifying backs, your backs have really shocked the Nottingham defence by getting themselves on the scoreboard. I mean, after a penalty try to start the match off with, always nice to see the referee on your side, but really they've sort of lit this fixture up for you guys, haven't they?
Yeah, I think those edge backs, like from centre out to the wings, like they're just electric. James Langston's having a great season at outside centre, always seems to get past that first tackle, so he's been really strong for us, and I think getting that go forward and then sort of putting the boys away outside him is what he's been doing all year, so tonight's not really any different for him.
So tonight is kind of going to how the script would have intended, and it wasn't that case last week with the loss on the road at Cardiff Met, and just the week before, a 96-8 win here against Swansea. Things are starting to head in that right direction again, but what do Loughborough need to remember going into that second half to maintain this lead?
I think just playing, like you say, the backs are electrifying, but playing in the right areas of the pitch. As soon as you give away a penalty anywhere in that middle third, you're back in your own 22 in this league. So just making sure we're playing in the right areas of the pitch, doing those simple things right that have got us some joy so far in the first half, and then just sort of not getting bored of getting over that gain line and make sure that we keep pressing forward.
Now, before we talk a little bit more about Nottingham, what they need to do in this second half, and indeed commenting on all the Nottingham students that seem to have made their way here somehow, let's talk a bit more about yourself, Gally, because unfortunately your time at Loughborough University, it's coming to the end here in this rugby programme. Just how many years have you done here now?
I've done 2 years as member of staff, but I was a student and player here for 4 years. So actually the first year at BSR, 2016, was my first year as a fresher here at Loughborough. And I was lucky to play a couple of years of BSR as I went through the years as a student. So 6-7 years altogether now.
And it's quite sad to obviously see that coming to an end, but talk to us a little bit more about how BSR has changed in that time, because the league has evolved so much since those early days in 2016, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think there's a lot more tactical rugby in the game. I think if you look at some of the players now, they potentially look a little bit more pro-ready. Obviously, we've had like over 100 pros graduate from BSR into the professional game, but like you're starting to see them in a lot more skill positions. I think we've always had excellent athletes, good back rowers, all that sort of stuff, but now you're seeing people playing rugby at the closest pro level as you can get. Like the ball in play time is regularly 41-42 minutes, which is something you only really see replicated at the real top end. So I just think the coaching, the players themselves, the standard is just getting there year on year, and it's so quick and physical. Like it's definitely, if I was a student now, I'd have no hope of getting anywhere near that pitch. It's definitely too quick for me now.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you mentioned back rowers being some of the most illustrious alumni from BUCS Super Rugby.
Yeah.
Charlie Titcombe was here last year. He's ended up slotting into URC life quite well.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's been involved in a lot of fixtures. Charlie, that's what I mean about those skill players being pro-ready. He's one of the most pro-ready players I've seen. Teddy Larabarrow's gone with him. He just got Scarlet's Player of the Month actually for November. So both of them doing really well, and we're really proud of them down there.
Absolutely, and it speaks volumes of what this league is going to do and continues to do. Now, before we go back to Dave and find out more about what's coming up in the BUCS calendar, let's talk very briefly about the visitors, Nottingham. I know you don't want them to win, but if you were to coach that team, what is it exactly that Nottingham need to do to pull themselves back into contention?
I think their backs are always dangerous. I think they might need to earn the right to go wide. They go wide quite early, and it's sometimes a little bit easy to push off. So with people like Archie van der Fleer and people like that, use those runners to get them over the gain line and then pull the trigger when it's on is probably what I'd be saying. And like I say, like winning that territory battle is what we'll be looking at, so they'll probably be looking at exactly the same thing.
Well, Gally, thank you so much for joining me here after. I'll let you get back to the nice, warm confines of Loughborough University. I'm sure there's a cup of coffee or tea in there with your name on it. But for now, we're going to focus on what's coming up in BUCS over the coming weeks and the coming months.
December the 13th, we are in Cardiff for the Cardiff Clash. A double header as well, Met versus University in both the men's and the women's. I'll be down there for that one, so make sure you join me. I'm so glad that he's got rid of that goatee, because it is gross. Look at it. That's the battle of the... If it's the battle of the facial hair, then Cardiff pick up 5 points and Met are in the relegation zone, Cheza.
I think between the two of them, they've got a good goatee.
Yeah, it's full David Brent between the two of them, isn't it? But that's one to look forward to. So join us down there for that one. And just like to take this opportunity to wish Gally good luck as well as he travels up to Scotland to start his URC journey. He has been a real BSR superstar, not just in his role with Loughborough, but back in his playing days. I cast my mind back to when he was man of the match, when they used to have their big games up in the football stadium, the other side of campus, played against Exeter as a tight head, and he scrummaged them off the park. He was a brilliant player at this level, and he's going to be an absolute asset up in Scotland as well. So good luck, mate. The game moves along fast, Cheza. I'm telling you, it really does, and it's so good to see people making waves, whether it's yourself on the pitch but still involved with your club, or the players, the ex-players doing things outside the game too. So fair dues to Gally. Top boy, and he's going to do a great job. So Loughborough the first out. Henry Lavin leading them out. Obviously, he's won the sprint test as well because he's 20-30 metres ahead of everybody else. For them, what do you think they'll have talked about at half-time? Where do you think they'll be looking to make improvements and take home 4 or 5 points?
I think the massive thing for them will be that what they've done is good. It will be, can they get the first score and really put this game away? I think if they can get a converted try, that's the bonus points sorted. They're up by 20 points. You know, it's basically 3 scores. So that'll be what I reckon Loughborough will be saying, whereas Notts, it will be the polar opposite. We need to score first, get it back close, make it into a bit of a bum fight where we can kind of push them close towards the end.
And how do you do that? Do you go chasing the white line straight away, or are you looking to build some territory? Because they've really not had a huge amount, have they? Is it 3 visits to the 22 maybe?
Is that Notts or Loughborough, Dave?
Notts.
Notts, yeah. I think it'll just be, you know, we've got to stick to what we know we're good at, so we're going to play with ball in hand. It's just about reducing that error count, you know, whether that's in defence, letting, you know, first phase strikes result in tries, whether that's in attack with our ball security. As long as we can, you know, pick up those little things, play our brand of rugby, I think we know we'll be okay, but we've just got to keep working hard.
Well, the work starts as soon as the players reappear. Big fan of these gold bench coats as well, and you need them on nights like tonight. It is chilly here on Epinal Way.
They are highly sought after bits of stuff.
Oh, are they?
I think we have about 8. And
okay.
They live with someone for a year and they're passed down through the club. It's pretty prestigious to get one of those. So
just got Zav Valentine disappearing out of your shot here. He's coaching at Nottingham, but a bit of a golden era Leeds Beckett front rower as well. Back when they're busting people, to be fair, they're busting people up in the front row this year. Over 50 scrum penalties Leeds Beckett have won this season.
Hancock squared, it's a sight to behold. We had it this year. I've never been more found something funnier on a rugby pitch. They won a penalty, a scrum penalty on our 10.
Yeah.
The 10 walked over and kind of thought, oh, do I fancy this? Went, can we scrum again, sir? Pushed us back another 5 metres and then took the 3 points. You think South Africa taking us free kick scrums bad? Imagine how that was.
Nottingham get us underway in the second half. A kick to compete to begin with, and the competition goes green and gold. Oh, it's spilt out the side. That's Tristan Smith playing it through his legs. Speaking of through his legs, it's just about recovered. Hope you're back watching in the warm. And great to have your company as well. Hopefully you're enjoying this one as much as we are. That one carried forward by Oliver Gilbert. He had a really industrious first 40 minutes. Now Blinkhorn. Oh, there's a little touch on that. Pressure comes on, it's back with Loughborough. And that is not the start that Nottingham would have wanted. It's just about well recovered. They're going to have the chance to exit, but as always, they're inviting pressure on themselves.
Yeah, no, great work there. I don't know who was on the foot pressure, but Mario Picciardi getting up there, winning that ball back over Conroy Byrne. You can see that experience that he's got. I mean, it is mental to think only a few months ago he was playing against Argentina.
Crazy.
And now he's obviously back playing BUCS Super Rugby. It's a crazy world we live in.
Stay out, please.
His rugby adventure is a really interesting one. Because, of course, he was with Wasps. Oh, it's a touch on that, and it's just gone forward. Yeah, with Wasps and not necessarily enjoying it, and giving up your EQP is such a gamble, but it feels like it's really worked out for him now. Captaining Spain, very cool.
It just shows there's so many. There's more than one way to skin a cat, isn't there? In terms of enjoying rugby, playing at the highest level. You know, I doubt Mario's complaining when he's on a nice beach in Spain somewhere at training camp, captaining a side. And like you say, hopefully on the brink of World Cup qualification.
Well, the Rugby Europe Championship's a great division now, particularly the top 3 teams, Georgia, Spain and Portugal. They have some great contests. They'll be kicking off around about the same time as the Six Nations Championship, and of course Mario will be hoping to be involved as Loughborough turn the screw at scrum time. It's all legal, but it's spilt out the back, and Breers isn't going to get there. Will Callan will beat him to it, but eventually the referee decides that the Nottingham roller skates have infringed.
Line's yours, lads.
Interesting too, talking about what was going to change at half-time. Clearly scrum is something that Loughborough have decided they're going to go after it being pretty even, maybe even Nottingham dominant in the first half. Tristan Smith has come out there and probably given Archie van der Fleer one back.
That's good ball, and Loughborough go in search of this bonus point try. Hayden Reese there in the armchair, but once again Rob Carmichael's being a nuisance, so Loughborough have to take it to ground. Brilliant work by Nottingham University.
That is exceptional from Big Rob. He's got through that seam and held that ball in so well. That is what he can be so good at.
Go gadget arms from Robert Carmichael. Always got to be reminded to call him Robert, because Rob upsets his dad.
Mr. Carmichael is one of the sweetest men you'll ever meet, so I'm sure his version of upset isn't too bad.
Senior or junior?
Well, both, to be honest. Good young man, good head on his shoulders.
So the Nottingham supporters are just away to our left here on the bank, and they haven't worn particularly sensible footwear, and someone has absolutely stacked it. Better scrum this time from Nottingham, and a great carry from the base as well. Conor O'Byrne relieving a bit of pressure. Now the exit kick needs to be good. No, it doesn't, because Loughborough have given away the penalty.
Great work from Conor off the base there, just real good speed. Luca Fahy committed to helping his loose head try and go forward, and getting outside your 7, you get a nice run at the seam in between 10 and the scrum.
Well, he'd had more opportunities last season if he'd have vacated the shirt for 5 minutes, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Did you end up doing every minute of every game?
Yeah, I did.
But one was from open side, wasn't it?
No, every game 8. I did one at if you include England students, did another 80 at blindside for them.
Of course. Clearly offside,
alongside a few Loughborough alum.
That must have been a good trip.
Oh, unbelievable, mate. I mean, the likes of Max Cortis, Exeter, and then Nathan Pope, Loughborough, they were just absolutely hilarious together.
Good tourists.
I mean, as I've been showing you, Popey's been peppering me during the last 45 minutes with interesting insights on how I could maybe do my job better. So
okay.
That's just the sort of giving, nice guy he is. He just likes to help people out whenever he can.
Is he up at Sale FC now, Popey?
I think it might be Sedgley Tigers.
Okay.
But he's been playing. We got a good photo of him and Will de Bomber when Taunton played Sedgley a few weeks ago. So good to see boys outside of BSR going great guns.
That's a long journey.
It probably.
Oh my. Ball back with Loughborough. Good kick to compete. Garrett's underneath it. He's chased there by Rosen, but does very well under pressure. Very well indeed, in fact, Garrett. Another good carry. But Nottingham stuck inside their own half. It's been a change at scrum half for Nottingham. And this time it's Meredith underneath it.
And again, we are back in this midfield battle. Bull spent a lot of time here, and that's why Nottingham wants it.
Number 1 holding on.
Alex O'Driscoll caught holding on. Hiscock-Smith clamping over it.
Really nice work there from Elijah, and also Mr. Van der Fleer clamping him in there, working hard as that extra man just to keep him grounded there. Really nice. Good opportunity here for Nottingham to launch something.
It's Bailey who's come on at scrum half.
Will Bailey. One of the hardest workers I've met in my 5 years now, kind of involved in the university. Him and Jamie Whitwell will sit outside for an extra 30 minutes doing box kicks, high balls, all of that. It's brilliant.
Hold back.
Into the 22. Go Nottingham. Oh, it's been overthrown. That's an error, but there could be another opportunity here for the turnover. And they've done it again. That was Hayden Rees. Had the ball, his eyes lit up, but he was isolated.
I guess we'll put Jackling practice on there as well for Will Bailey. Good lad.
Added value. You've got to be a total footballer these days, haven't you? Interesting, they're opting for the corner here. I mean, I know they're 13 points down, but an easy 3 points, and then they're 10 points down.
I think it's the mindset you want to get back within, back within a couple of scores as soon as possible. Was it now 13? Yeah, so just get that try, converted try, you're only 6 down, 1 score game.
Really good nudge for the corner. 5 metres out. Goes to Carmichael, uncontested. And again, Loughborough with the counter. Now it starts to move forward. Watch out for Gilbert. Bailey has to scramble for it. Freddie Vaughan goes forward. He's eventually cleared out. Fred Marr, look at this leg drive from Marr. Great strength from the tight head. Still going. Then finds the floor. Bailey over to Vaughan. Vaughan gets it away, and Nottingham are into the corner. Alex Garrett touches down, and the visitors are right back in the game.
Great try that. 1 to 15 involved. Whole pack getting us going forward at the maul. Will Bailey did really well to get that ball out. Strong carry from Fred Marr, who with the help of Conor O'Byrne and Ollie Gilmert does well to get to ground, and then great call here from Freddie Vaughan. Face pass across Joe Payne, and he puts Alex Garrett away in the corner for what might be his first BUCS Super Rugby try, Dave Rogers.
He's missed 3 Loughborough defenders out there. It's a big gamble, isn't it? If that gets picked off, then it's a foot race. But he is bang on the money. Garrett goes in. And now a conversion to make it a 1-score game. And isn't it amazing? All of a sudden, the kick to the corner completely vindicated.
Yeah, it's the Chris Robshaw dilemma from 2011. You do it and it goes wrong and you look very silly.
Oh, that was a good day. That was a good day.
Oh, I forget your Welsh leanings.
Whitwell has got an earful of Loughborough support. And that reaction will tell you all you need to know. The moment it left the boot, we knew it was missing the sticks. It is still a 2-score game.
Tell you what I do really like, Dave, is we mucked up that first line out, but then we went back to the corner, got it right. Good sign of resilience from a team that maybe has been lacking that over the last kind of 8 or 9 games.
10 unanswered points, and Loughborough ring the changes. Nick Jennings and Tommy Agbombon coming on. Nick Jennings, the club captain. Not seen a lot of him in BUCS Super Rugby, but as I said at the top of the show, a real stalwart. 50 National League appearances in African Violet.
I'm reliably informed by Jack Shine that he is one of the best players in this Loughborough squad. He's a proper clubman, like you say. He's really worked for his opportunity in BSR in that too, and he's relishing the opportunity this year.
And Tommy Agbombon's a fascinating one. Time with Leicester, time in Major League Rugby. There's rumours that he'll be going back to London. I can't say who, but it won't take you long to find the trail of where he might end up. And when he gets it right, he is a serious, serious player, as is this man, Jennings. That's a first touch. And a great insight into what we can expect from him. O'Driscoll.
advantage.
Clever.
Jackler on the ball with a tackle on the wrong side.
So Meredith's going to go for the corner here. It's proper derby rugby, I love it.
Oh mate, it's great to see that so many of the boys have come down. We were hoping, I think, to organise a bus down, a supporters bus, but instead we said to the boys, you know, if you can get a train ticket, it's about 10 quid, get on the train, and luckily the boys have come down in force to support Notts, which I think is something we really needed.
So many loafers on that muddy bank. It's an accident waiting to happen. We've already had a few casualties. Lavin, great ball at the back, and Agbombon straight on it. Agbombon is over. His first touch is a 5-pointer, and that's the bonus point secured. And what an impact off the bench from Tommy Agbombon.
Yeah, I think we gambled there. Nottingham wanted to get someone up and try and compete, and they threw to the tail. Really good take from Henry Lavin, and if you gamble front and middle and they go to the tail, you're always going to struggle to defend that.
Yeah, it becomes processional. It's just all about discipline from the attacking team, isn't it? Not going too quickly, not overbalancing. Tommy Agbombon on the scoreboard.
Yeah, on this line, mate, cheers. Oh, good. Oh, my hand, it's just my hands. My hands get freezing for some reason. I mean, I can. It doesn't look great, does it?
And now the conversion to add the extras. If he gets this, it's a 3-score game again. If not, then the mission hasn't really changed for Nottingham. They still need 2 scores. But he's been on the money tonight, Morgan Meredith. He is 3 from 3. Loughborough 28-13 up. Bonus points secured. And Nottingham with it all to do again.
10, 3 and 9 sub.
More changes coming for Loughborough. 10, 3 and 9 off. 17, 18, 21 on, Dave Rogers.
Ah, Mink Sharink. Big shout out to Mrs. Sharink. I know she's a big fan of the BUCS Super Rugby streams. Eric Nixon coming on as well. Again, he's been balanced across BUCS Super Rugby and the National League. So front row changes. Let's see how that changes the picture at scrum time for the referee. That's another superb take from Nottingham on that restart.
Will Callan doing a really good job on that left wing.
That is a great skill. Payne. Oh, Rosen comes flying out of the line and stops Moyes. A little bit upright, but the referee happy enough that there was nothing untoward. Tipped back inside to Rampley. Mar was driven a long way off the ball there by Hayden Rees. Carmichael runs into Agbombon. Sharink gets out the way. Almost ballerina-esque as Joe Payne has a little dart and then releases Callan. Callan chips, chases his own kick. Oh, what a try by Will Callan! He started it by retaking the ball from the restart. And he has scored one of the tries of the week. Will Callan drags Nottingham back into it.
That's just what we needed, Dave. I was going to say it after we conceded, but a quick try, bring it back into the balance. I mean, that again, that is what University of Nottingham are all about. Good ball skills, quick ball, letting our wide players do the work. And I tell you what, Will Callan has been one of our standouts this season. He's played 3s all the way up to the 1s over the last few years. Come from obscurity a little bit. I think he was a Warwick first team player, and that is an unbelievable bit of skill to regather that and score.
Sometimes, just sometimes, you get the bounce you deserve.
He's deserved it. He's been real industrious on that wing. Good hands as well from Conor O'Byrne, the number 8, to get that ball away to him under pressure.
Back rowers on the edge. You love to see it.
It's exclusively where I spend all my time.
Conversion's good this time. We have a game on our hands. It is 28-20. I think the important thing here for Nottingham as well is they're only one try away from the bonus point. In the way they've played here, I mean, they could still win the game, but if they don't win the game, it would be a shame to leave empty-handed today. 28-20.
Always inside. Inside the 50.
Gourley not going to chase his own kick there, slightly overcooked it, however, it's not been taken cleanly.
He's the only one on side.
And that one has gone out on the full, but from inside the 22. So this end-to-end exchange continues.
It's been a good one, hasn't it? Nottingham v Loughborough, it does deliver. Outside of the first time we played them in BUCS Super Rugby, when we got a bit of a hiding.
We won't talk about that one.
Keep talking about Lady Bay.
Oh, Mart still going, gets the offload away. And then Rampley has some tidying up to do. Now, Rosen, not seen much of him, but he is a very dangerous runner, as we might be about to find out. Oh, good shot on him. That's Freddie Bourne. Again, he's had an excellent game. Langston. Garrett stops him in his tracks. That's well picked up by Tom Miles. Under a lot of pressure. Gilbert's off his feet. And Nottingham, I thought they might have counter-rucked that, but now Bonbon.
Okay, 15.
And Loughborough back into the 22. Miles on at scrum half now. Mink Sharink, first carry for him.
Yeah, Lego. Nice.
And Miles. Derek Nixon. Hanging lid. I hope that was a dare. Gourlay. In at first receiver, good line speed from Nottingham, just suffocating the Loughborough attack. Sharink picks and goes. He's keen to get his hands on the ball.
Really good defence here from the Nottingham boys, but is it unlocked here?
Might be about to open up because Gourlay's had a dart. And Loughborough in close again. Nixon. He's got Jennings in behind him. Owain Evans waits. Bonbon as well. Penalty advantage now. Loughborough with something to play with. Bonbon, great strength from Bonbon. And he's over again. Deadly. From within 5 metres, Tommy Bonbon. 2 tries. And Loughborough extend the lead once more.
Yeah, he's had a real impact off the bench, hasn't he? Tamir Bonbon, few massive carries, 2 tries. Real explosive player. First man back to the halfway line as well.
Well, he's on a hat-trick.
Wants to get the game going again.
Very, very difficult to stop. So powerful, quick as well. Just that gas off the mark. He's on you before you know it. And if you don't get that first collision right, you've got no chance.
Yeah, we just let Loughborough get on top of us a bit there from a Nottingham perspective. You know, had a few good, on the near side to us today, a few good counter-rucks, slowing the ball down. And then we just let them get to that right wing, get on top of us, and Tommy scored the try. So frustrating to get that 1 try from Will Callan, then kind of go back to you know, what could be 3 scores here, but still all to play for. 20 minutes to go.
Meredith. It's a lot quieter for him kicking than when Whitwell has his shies at the stumps. Flawless. 35-0, 1 penalty try and 4 converted tries. 60 minutes gone. Take another look at this, and the platform was set there. It was a really strong carry from Nixon, but you can see how Bonbon from there. Give me the ball, Gaffer. And knowing that they had the advantage to play with as well. It's unlucky from Gilbert, really, because he has preempted it and he has rushed out.
You need someone to go with you there, though. Got to go for a 2-man shot on someone like Tommy Bonbon. That close to the line as well.
Those low chop tackles, they're a bit of a suicide mission, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
The Luke Cowan-Dickey approach.
Bless him. No, you just got to go out there in twos rather than on your own. If you go out there on your own, bit of footwork, and you're in no man's land, you've left that dog leg. So needed someone to go with him.
So with these new props on then, Nixon and Sharink, let's see the first set scrum with the new boys. Still a quarter of this game to go.
Like you say, Mink is a bit of a BSR stalwart, isn't he? A real shrewd operator at scrum time, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes against Big Van der Fleer.
Okay. Both of you didn't set at a good height, so you need to bring your shoulders up. Okay. Thank you. Let's go. Stay nice and square as well. See that hip in.
I wonder if Nixon's hair dye's maybe a charity thing for November.
Has to be.
I hope so.
Oh, goodness me.
It's luminous.
Yeah.
You can see it from the other side of the pitch.
Looks like a clown's wig.
Tell it how it is, Dave.
Well,
Tell it how it is.
You can't deny the proof of your eyes, James Cherry.
Very true.
Set.
Oh, that's bounced back. There's a hook on this, and it's come Nottingham's way. Loughborough getting too carried away with the drive and forgetting about the nuts and bolts at scrum time, and now Nottingham can go in search of this bonus point try. Rampley. Again, good hands, and Van der Fleer jumped into the tackle and then just got his ankles knocked on the 22.
Lads,
Now,
if you shout at me
Bailey finds Lee, the try scorer. And an advantage, here we go. What can Joe Payne do from here? He's going to chase his own kick and gather it! Oh my! The backdoor offload is fumbled by Connor Moyes.
You know when I said he reminded me of Max Brown, Dave?
Oh my. Oh, that would have been special.
That would have been one of the best tries I think I've ever seen. He almost didn't chip it over the top, he chipped it through the defensive line. Almost regathered and offloaded, but that was outstanding from Joe Payne. He doesn't look like a man on starting day, because I think it's his 5th or 6th BSR game, but he's really taken to it well, hasn't he?
That is not in keeping with the value of the game, and it looks ridiculous. If it happens again, I'm going to keep this on. Can you please talk to me? Yeah, sure.
Good bit of work here from Henry Lavin, slowing the game down nicely.
He's getting a fairly serious talking to from the referee there about rugby values. There's only one thing that Nottingham can do here, surely, and that's go to the corner.
100%. We can get one back here, get that bonus point and give ourselves a sniff kind of in the last 15-20 of having a real good crack at Loughborough.
And knowing that teams in front of Nottingham have picked up bonus points as well. Cardiff picked one up at Leeds Beckett today, 2019. That sounds like a war of attrition, doesn't it?
Yeah, on the cabbage patch up at Carnegie it will have been, but you know, great to see Beckett after the struggles they had last year, like you say, really picking it up this year. A couple of boys kind of down there, the Hancocks doing God's work as we get back here to Nottingham in the Mall.
Gilbert really bending his back for this one, so Bailey is going to get the backs going. Freddie Vaughan brought down on the first phase, and then Bailey just caught in two minds, so goes back the other way. Oh, it's just been fumbled forward. Lack of composure.
Yeah, we get a little bit lost in the red zone, Dave. Quite slow around the corner. Just left Will Bailey kind of not knowing where we were going, tackled behind the game line and a turnover. So maybe time for some fresh legs for Nottingham.
Well, there's a few warming up and they're getting plenty of love from those next to us.
So Barney Horbury, number 22, coming on here, a late addition to the squad.
I've just had a score update in my ear that I didn't quite hear, so I'm going to break the fourth wall.
21-17 Hartbury against Exeter.
31-17 Hartbury against Exeter. Maybe I should have placed that Christmas bet. Well, I tell you what, if that is the full-time score, that is a phenomenal performance from Dan Murphy's men, because Exeter have been a law unto themselves in BUCS Super Rugby so far.
Yeah, we played them in the second week of the season. They were unbelievable, mate. One of the best teams I've seen at BUCS Super Rugby level. Absolutely. Execution was at 100%. They were outstanding.
But Hartbury have been building.
They have, mate. They've got a few really talented players, the likes of Josiah, Edward Giroux, Wilfred McCarthy, that I was lucky enough to get along with last year at England Students. And their set piece as well, coached by Dan Murphy, like you say, very much take after the RFC side, and very much a scrum and line-up based team with some exciting backs. I've heard their 10 this year is a really good player as well.
Well, the year they won it, when they beat Cardiff Met in the final, they didn't have a great start to the season. They actually ended up finishing below 4th place, so had to go on an away quarter-final and still managed to do it. So maybe they're looking to replicate that this year, and that's been coughed up by James Langston. Into the final 15 minutes. Loughborough with the try bonus point already. Nottingham searching for it. Carmichael's worked hard again tonight.
A few more interchanges for us, Dave. I think Hiscox, Smith and O'Byrne have gone off for Rampley, and Ben Glanville on his BUCS Super Rugby debut. Also with, I think, Alex Garrett going off for Barney Horbury, as we spoke about earlier. So few changes there for Nottingham. See if those boys can bring a bit of energy.
Barnaby Hornbury, hell of a name that.
Yeah, he's a good lad, Barney. He's
Oh,
that's not.
It's not that white line you're supposed to kick it over.
No, Barney's had a weird kind of career in terms of BSR. He's 2's captain this year.
Okay.
Called up to the squad quite late with Freddie Vaughan having a bit of a calf strain. That's the one, yeah. And yeah, he's been really impressive in training the last few weeks, driving standards. Last time he played BSR was Hartbury away, last league game of last season.
So he's in 22.
So then you've got Ben Glanville in 20 with the blue hat on.
And what number's Pickford in? Is he on yet?
I believe he'll be on in 21, but he's not on just yet. Still got
Will Bailey's in 21, isn't he?
Yeah, so we have 2 21 shirts.
Oh, come on.
I know, it's bad. Blame the kit sec.
I will. Who is he? Where is he?
Probably somewhere to your left. But no, excited to see Ben Glanville. Sedbergh schoolboy, Sale Academy. Real physical player.
Big pump of the fist there from Henry Lavin, as the purple pack win the penalty. Have you ever been up to Sedbergh?
I haven't, but I've heard it's a very interesting place.
It's, in the sunshine, it's a beautiful place. This is just me and you talking as mates here, secrets, yeah? I'm not sure I'd want to go to school there for 5 years.
Really? Mate, everyone that I've met that went there has only good things to say about it. But I guess they're all in the rugby bubble.
Yes.
If you're in the rugby bubble at Sedbergh, I imagine you're having a very good time.
Oh, they're unbelievable. And the Sedbergh Tens tournament is one of the highlights of the year. That's taken by Jennings, and Loughborough on the way again. Our ball at the back, could be some space here, but that is a brilliant shot by Conor Moyse to neutralise the danger temporarily. It's a loose ball, it's forward off Loughborough, and Conor Moyse has done a job in midfield.
He's done, that's a variation on the play earlier where Langston scored, I think, where instead of hitting up the 13 on the hard line, they've gone out the back, and Moyse has been left with a 3-on-1 on the wing and done really well to shoot in at the last second, dislodge that ball and probably saved us another try. I think Archie's just giving the ref a little talking to there about scrum penalties after Mink did it on the last one. Well, I'm not sure Mink did him. I think it might have been on the Loughborough loose head side where they were dominant, but I reckon Archie won't want another penalty going Loughborough's way.
No. So it's Glanville now in at number 8. This time Nottingham win the penalty. Mink Sharink not straight.
Not around, okay? Number 18 driving around the squad.
Archie does make me laugh the way he nods to himself. I think he'll have said to the ref on the other one, Mink probably walked around, which made it look like he was dominant, whereas on that one the ref saw it the other way. But as I said, Mink, very good player, real shrewd operator, so him and VDF will be having good fun going up against each other, I think.
I think what's great as well is obviously Archie's moving into senior rugby, and how old is he now?
He'll be 21.
21 in the championship at Loosehead is a brutal place to be.
Mate, he made his debut last year against Ampthill when they had the Tongan tight head that played in the 03 World Cup or something.
Yeah, who'd have been...
He'd been playing for Ampthill for...
He'd have been older than Archie when Archie was born.
Yeah. 6 high.
Now another penalty coming here. Discipline could start to cost Loughborough.
Number 6 high.
Tom Miles, not on the Unruck Christmas card list after that.
Smart play though, to be fair.
Oh, of course.
Slow the game down. Wonder if you go for 3 here just to bring it a little within 2 scores again, Dave, or do you go for the corner?
Well, what's more important, bringing it within 2 scores or getting that try bonus point?
Probably getting the try bonus point, I'd say. Get that first, then worry about getting within 7.
Great kick. Great kick. Can you have a word with them about their language? They're your mates. Into the last 10 minutes we go. It's a little bit slower, a little bit more considered here from Nottingham. I think they realise the importance of this, the importance of these phases. First things first, secure the ball. That is good ball as well. And watch out for Gilbert. No, they've gone straight off the top, and Connor Moyce brought down 2 metres short. Great chance now, Mark. Into the spin try, he goes, and it opens up for Archie van der Fleer, who secures the bonus point on his BUCS Super Rugby return. It's a 10-point game with the kick to come. Really? Nottingham will not leave empty-handed, but can they take all the marbles?
Really impressive there. Good work from Sammy Lee to get that ball to Ollie Gilbert. Great line from Connor Moyes. And then just the work here, we've spoken all day about Notts' lack of continuity in this area. Yeah. Fred Marr, not the best carry, but the fact that we get to floor, play on top, and a great bit of work there from Archie. Tomiwa overfolding, leaving him that space, and that is a much-needed try bonus point.
35-27, it is still a 2-score game. But what a derby it's been.
Like you say, obviously got Cardiff clash next week. The East Midlands derby is getting right up there as one of those featured games in BUCS Super Rugby you look forward to.
What a way to end 2023, eh? Couple of great derbies. Live streamed. And Loughborough go long with the restart.
Off the leg, I've got it off the leg.
I tell you what, Nottingham can get another score here. It is grandstand finish time. But they've got 90-odd metres to go before then. And one thing they haven't done particularly well, having scored, is exited. And Bonbon was sniffing around the charge down there, and they've kept it in field. Oh, lovely offload, Pichardi. Not done an awful lot of carrying tonight, Mario Pichardi, as Mink Sharink bumps off.
Rory Flack, but he's done well to get back into the tackle, and he's given away a penalty for not rolling away, though.
And here's Kusik going again. Connor Moyce needs to roll away. Another penalty advantage. All the while, it's eating into the clock as well. You've got 1 or 2 options and neither of them are there. That's what the referee's saying.
I think, yeah, a couple of penalties there. So, a few changes for Loughborough, I think, Dave. It looks like Reece Malone has come onto the pitch. And as well as that, I think Fergus Dix come back on with Henry Lavin coming off. Which, interestingly, I believe Loughborough have done a few times this year, ringing the back row, using, I think it's 13 changes you get now in a BUCS Super Rugby game. So
feels like a lot.
I should probably know that, considering I'm our 4th official for home games. But I think it is 13. But just using that to keep fresh legs on the pitch at all times, especially in positions like the back row where it is very attritional.
Well, Reece Malone coming in. Had a great 10-15 partnership with Teddy Leatherbar, Charlie Titcombe last season. Teddy's definitely not a 10 or a 15. But we've seen him more at 10 this year, training as a maths teacher and given the week off. It's a good sack there, Bonbon sniffing around that hat-trick try. Now Pichardi. Good leg drive by Pichardi. Looked like he lost the original collision. Another advantage coming. Mink Sharink is met. Now Miles. Little nudge in behind. Well, not even in behind. Directly into the air. But with the penalty coming, doesn't matter. And there could be further action taken.
I think it'll be Freddie will get the chat here, 1 more in this area, and it's going to be a yellow card. Notts have got to be really careful now if they want any chance of getting, at least that extra bonus point, if not a win. We need to keep 15 players on the pitch here.
Tell you what you need to do is choose a man of the match. I don't want you to do it just yet, but very shortly, maybe the next time the ball goes dead. Let's have a little bit of a chat about players on both sides of the ball who've impressed you tonight.
I think I'll wait for the fans to calm down first.
Oh my goodness me. Maybe do it while they're still loud, because they won't be able to hear when you choose a Loughborough player. Options both ways then for Loughborough. Malone in behind Meredith. Langston to the left. Cusick to the right.
Stand up. Just everyone get yourself balanced. I think
we're spoilt for choices with man of the match, Dave. I think
you're going to have to pick one,
I know.
mate.
I think Mario Picciardi, it's probably an easy one to go to, but just the composure that he brings from that number 8 position, really marshalling that Loughborough pack. I think Morgan Meredith, he's obviously 5 for 5 from the tee. He's really attacked well. You know, the strike plays, the little kick through for Luca Fahi's try would be another one. Jacob Kuzik, he's been imperious in attack, solid in defence, and then obviously Archie van der Fleer stands out the way. He's galvanised the squad at training this week, brought so much energy. Joe Payne, first BSR start.
Back of the scrum if you want it.
I reckon we'll get a scrum again. Joe Payne, first BSR start during the warm-up, comes on, having an absolute screamer. Alex Garrett, he's carried well, he's helped set up a couple of tries. I mean, it's been one hell of a game.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
I've really enjoyed the leadership from Freddie Vaughan as well. Strikes me as the kind of guy who wouldn't ask you to do anything that he wouldn't do, because what he'll usually do is either run into it or stop it running into him.
100%. It's something we're big on as a whole club, to be honest, that you can't, you know, you've got to put yourself first, go do the hard yards, and Freddie's been like that. He almost didn't play last week against Hartbury when with the game frozen off because of a dead calf, but he's worked really hard all week to make sure that he's ready for this game and he could be out there playing a Fileti with the lads.
We're into the last few minutes of the game, and the clock being eaten away by this reset scrum from the free kick. Remember, it's for the same infringement, and it'll be a penalty to Loughborough. After being in Spain with that drastic haircut, Mario's head must be freezing. I wonder if he might fancy a little snipe from 8 here. In fact, he's got the left paw on it, Picciardi. And they go back the other way. There's Meredith, big ball over the top where he finds Rosen, who slides in to take Loughborough up to 40. The Bristol bit puts an extra shine on it and certainly takes hope of victory away from Nottingham.
Weirdly, if he misses this kick, that's almost better for Notts getting that second bonus point. If we can get down and get a try, 34-40, we get the second bonus point, because I don't think we're going 95 metres against this Loughborough team. But that relies on Morgan Meredith, who so far has been metronomically accurate, missing one.
Well, I think he's crocked himself in finishing that.
That would be a real shame. Harry Rowson's one of my favourite players to watch now that I'm out of BSR. I think that try that he scored last year on the back of one of the best passes I've ever seen from Charlie Titcombe off his weak hand, about 20 metres. I mean, and the gas that, I mean, players with serious speed like that, they're a joy to watch, aren't they?
Well, he's with Bristol Bears, and they've had a few representatives up here in Loughborough today, keeping an eye on him and a couple of others. The flag's just been taken out there, and worth noting it is the Oddballs charity game today. So congratulations to everyone who continues to do the great work for that charity. That is some conversion. Morgan Meredith, 5 from 5, plus the penalty try. And with that then, let's have a man of the match.
Was it Morgan Meredith that threw that pass, Dave, for that try?
Yes.
I think it's going to have to be Morgan Meredith, to be honest, mate. What is that now? 6 from 6 off the tee. 5,
because one was a penalty try.
One was a penalty try. You're right. 5 from 5 off the tee, setting up tries, working over that Loughborough attack that have scored 42 points. So I think Morgan Meredith's going to be man of the match for me, Dave Rogers.
Congratulations to him. Loughborough's number 10, man of the match, with another bonus point victory incoming. Big fan of this kick to compete that Nottingham do. I mean, it's a great take by Kuzik there, but they've won it back on more than one occasion.
Tackle, mate.
Looks like Michael Cantle's come on for Nottingham wearing 16 for Ollie Gilbert.
He's been playing up in the Super Series, hasn't he?
Yeah, he got a game or two in for the Scottish Futures XV in the Super Series. And also, very interestingly, he just come off the back of what I've heard was an electric performance in the university production of Footloose.
Oh my God. Oh yes, please.
So imagine that man in some tight leather and dancing shoes, and
come on,
it was magical.
Don't give me that. Unless there are photos, I'm not interested. Do you know there are a couple of BSR boys involved in that Futures 15 as well? Off the top of my head, I think Jake Spurway from Nottingham was, Durham was in that team as well. A couple of Loughborough boys up there as well. Ben Smith.
Smith playing for Heriots. You've got Alfie Scopes was playing for Watsonians, and Bradley Roderick Evans was playing for the Ayrshire Bulls as well, I believe.
Go on the Bulls.
And Ed Timpson, University of Nottingham, playing for Stirling Wolves.
That's been good. Elias Caven was up there as well. Ex-Heart Brews. Now at Cambridge in the championship. Boys are getting around. It's great to see. Well, we're coming towards the end of this one. Last couple of minutes, just been a little bit scrappy. But it's a turgid end to what really has been an excellent derby. And here we are, a 15-point game. As we say, Nottingham not empty-handed, but for a couple of moments in the first half, this could have been a lot closer.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the story of our season to some extent, mate. We've had so many games where at times we've played some excellent rugby and just let ourselves down, maybe with the final score not reflecting how good we've been. I think today's one of those days, but there's a lot of young lads out there, mate, and it is always a learning curve with BUCS Super Rugby. And one thing we've recognised this year with a lot of leaders going, the likes of Henry Mortimer, Cam Furley, Max Brown, moving on, is that these boys need to learn how to get results out of these sort of games.
I can't believe you haven't named yourself there, but I understand why you haven't. But it just shows how punishing this league is, because Loughborough will remain second in the table. They'll close the gap on Exeter, who've fallen to defeat against Hartpury today. But Nottingham, despite picking up a bonus point here and really going toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the league, it's going to be another defeat, and they're going to remain rooted to the foot of the table. Loughborough coming away again. Meredith could really add a shine to his man-of-the-match performance, but Conor Moyse, good gas from him. And the referee has seen enough. Full time here in the East Midlands derby. Loughborough bounce back from that defeat at King Coyd. Nottingham pick up a bonus point, but it's not going to be enough to get them from the foot of the table. The full-time score after an excellent game of BUCS Super Rugby under the Wednesday night lights is Loughborough 42, Nottingham 27. Stick with us, plenty of post-match reaction. James is going to be catching up with the man of the match, Morgan Meredith, as well as the winning coach. Imagine they might be a while as well, because that post-match team talk will take a while. Lots to talk about, which gives us some time to chat as well. Your thoughts on the match, first of all, from a neutral perspective?
Yeah, I think a really good game, great advert for BUCS Super Rugby, unbelievable tries on both ends, and some good storylines there as well. The likes of Joe Payne, Ben Glanville getting first starts or first appearances in the league. Takeaway for Loughborough there, really good win, but probably will be unhappy to concede 27 points to a side that they may not see as one that should be competing so hard with them. And similarly, Nottingham happy with some of the aspects of our performance, happy with some of our attack, but can't be conceding 42 points after 43 at Bath, 44 at Cardiff. It's something defensively we're going to have to look at now, going down to Exeter next week.
Well, you've got Exeter next week, which is going to be hard work, and then you've got that little break. And previously, after Christmas, you tend to have that little New Year boost, don't you? And you've got some really good fixtures to come, some winnable games at home. Are you going to particularly go after those, or do you take every game sort of on its merits, really?
Yeah, I think the political answer to that one, Dave, is that you've got to take each game as it comes. We want the lads focusing on getting the most out of every game when they can, mate. But the likes of Cardiff and Swansea that are in 8th and 9th that do have to come up to higher fields, they are games that obviously will be giving instead of 110% like we do for every game, it will be 125%. They are real must wins, so fingers crossed we can go get some results there. That'd be really good.
There are mathematicians watching this thinking you can't do that. What about Loughborough then? They're second in the league, they bounced back, they had that disappointing defeat, but Cardiff Met can beat anybody on their day. They look like they're starting to put some things together.
I think Loughborough are a real interesting team this year, mate. I think everyone looks at Exeter at the top of the league and thinks they're head and shoulders. But I mean, Loughborough, outside of a couple of shaky games, it's never easy to go down to King Coyd and win there. It's first game of the season we had them at our big game and they managed to beat us by 7 in a close affair. I think the talent in their backline especially is astounding. I mean, the fact they've got the guy, Reece Malone on the bench and the likes of, Sam Bryan in their Nat 2 team. We were talking about earlier about Will Pert-Smith as well in the back row. The wealth of talent they have here at Loughborough University is, astonishing really. And we'll see how they go over this year, but I do think they'll make a push towards the top of the table as the season goes on. And, in that playoff run, anything can happen, Dave.
Well, they were all smiles there, led by Henry Lavin, the captain of this team. Leadership was something we talked about with Nottingham, but there's certainly plenty of it in that Loughborough team, and it's from all over the park as well. Let's take a look at the tries from that game then, where it was won, where it was lost, and a few of the moments that got us really excited. And it began here. Seems a long time ago now when Jacob Kusick went through. There weren't that many line breaks, but when they were for Loughborough, they really made them stick.
Yeah, they did. I think that's one thing that Nottingham as a side we can learn from the kind of long-time BSR unis, the likes of Loughborough and Exeter, is when they get those opportunities, they finish them 9 times out of 10, and that's something that we can definitely learn from, and Loughborough will pride themselves on.
Well, that sent Nottingham down to 14, and they actually did all right down to 14. They managed to get the penalty, but then when they were back up to 15, James Langston found Charlie Breers, and he wouldn't be denied this time.
No, great line from Langston, absolutely sped through that hole, and great support from a 9. It's always where you want them trailing on the inside to finish those tries off, so we'll be very happy with that one.
Back into the arm wrestle we went, then Nottingham cough at the ball, and they were punished here. This was absolute lightning, and Morgan Meredith, who ended up being the man of the match, a big contributor.
Yeah, just that spark off turnover ball, so important, and Morgan putting in a really challenging kick there, missing 4 or 5 people and ending up with Luke Fahy falling on it to give Loughborough that third try going into the end of the first half.
Yeah, so that made it 21 points to 3. And at that point, it was really important for Nottingham to get the next score. And just before half-time, there was that lovely link-up, and that's exactly what they did.
Fantastic, really proud of both Sammy and Ollie there, the soft skills in a small channel. Gave us a bit of momentum that we could take into the second half. Just a shame that kind of maybe didn't work out as well as it could have done, but it started off well here with Fred Marr.
Well, it took us to 21-8 at half-time, and Nottingham needed to start the second half well. They did. This was a beautiful ball.
Really smart line from Moisey as well. They're just holding his feet, holds Rouse and keeps him honest, and allows Alex to kind of be that extra man and score on the width there.
So that was 21-13. But then Nottingham made a little bit of a pickle of the exit. At this point, Loughborough started to make some changes in the forward pack. They brought on Jennings and Agbonbon. It was Lavin to Agbonbon. And he just went in off the back of some great work from the boys in front.
Yeah, if you gamble on the 2-pod in that situation, you're always exposed to them all. So great work from Lav to get that ball down and into Tommy's hands, and well done to Tommy finishing off for the first of his 2 for the day.
Well, that was his first touch. Doesn't happen as simply as that, of course. But that gave Loughborough a little bit of breathing space. It invariably didn't last long, though. This middle part of the second half was a brilliant contest, and this was perhaps the pick of the bunch.
Tell you what, if Joe Payne had got that out the back of the hand offload off,
Yes,
it would have been a close
true.
run thing, wouldn't it? But that's great work from Will Callan on the edge.
But Loughborough, they kept coming. This was an excellent carry from Eric Nixon. He really enjoyed getting his hands on the ball, the replacement loose head. But watch Tommy Agbonbon just rev the engine here, knowing the penalty was coming, but not caring at all. Just wanted to get over. 2 big interventions from him, and those 10 valuable points helped give Loughborough some breathing space. Nottingham not done though, and we spoke a lot about Archie van der Fleer in the build-up, and he really did deliver. I mean, he got the try here, but his performance was about a lot more than that.
Yeah, 100%. And one of the things that obviously you can't quantify is just the energy that he's brought this week, the kind of belief that having him in the side brings, the fact he's gone a full 80 minutes there along with Fred Marr at tight head. It's just outstanding from the big man.
Well, there was one more try to come, and this was Loughborough putting the icing on the cake. Harry Rosen going in. We're going to be going to the truck shortly, but I'd just like to say thank you to you, James Cherry. You've been absolutely superb today. Good luck with the rest of the season at Nottingham. But now it is time to hear from the man of the match. Morgan Meredith is with James Roberts.
match, Dave. Yes, a 42-27 win for Loughborough University this evening, and I've managed to grab the man of the match away from his team. Morgan, how much does that one mean to you guys after the loss on the road last week?
Yeah, it was definitely massive, especially that close loss to Cardiff last week. So it was massive, yeah, good for the boys.
And talk to me about what it was like actually out there this evening, because watching from the sidelines and indeed enjoying it in a nice, warm, comfortable room, it was a brilliant game to watch the backs because you guys lit up the pitch, really.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Just probably our discipline was what has let us down, those 25 points, but especially as an attack, our preview through the week was real get to that edge, show what we can do as backs unit.
Amazing. And I asked you this before you came onto camera as well. Yeah. Do you feel like you deserve that Player of the Match nomination and award? And you were really humble about it. You were talking about how you never really think of that sort of thing on the pitch. I mean, were you focusing more on the whole team around you having a good game and making sure that your backs had a good game as well alongside you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I don't really think about it like you just said, but especially I just lead the forwards round, try and get the balls in the quick lads players on the edge. Yeah.
Right, well, Morgan, I'm going to let you go and enjoy the celebration because I can see you're keen to join in with the Oddballs stuff. Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations on your Player of the Match. But for now, we're going to take a look at what's coming up in the BUCS calendar in 2024.
Let's take a look at what other big events are coming up this year in the BUCS calendar.
If it goes, and it does! Big strike.
Marley Jessup, and he's swept up by his teammates. Paul Brown Mapu!
And here we go, we are underway.
Rogers.
Welcome to the greatest day of the week.
Well, we've got some full-time score confirmations from across the BUCS Super Rugby League, and Bath have fallen at home to Durham, who have defeated them 35-33 in favour of the Palatinites, and Hartpury University possibly giving us the biggest upset in BUCS Super Rugby so far this season. They've defeated Exeter at home 31-17, and Cardiff Met have beaten Swansea 48-12. 2 wins on the bounce for the Archers now. They're certainly getting back into the right form, but for now, my attention turns back to the Loughborough game this evening. I'm going to bring in Martin. It was a fantastic game for you guys this evening. Great to get back to winning ways and really special at home for the Oddballs match.
Yeah, exactly. Look, we put on a bit of a show in parts, definitely in parts. Nottingham came really hard at our breakdown, especially disrupted the flow for us and finished some good tries, but really good to get out on top in the end.
Now, a word from you before we talk about the wider game on the Player of the Match, Morgan Meredith. As I said to him there, he was very humble about it before we spoke on camera. In your eyes, what was his game like today?
Yeah, Morgan's a humble guy, really, really good guy. He was clinical, wasn't he? Clinical off the boot and controlled the game well from 10, so really, really pleased for Morgan.
And it seemed to be that from the get-go, really, it was the backs that were lighting up the game in this fixture for you guys. Is it something that you'd identified in the week that you wanted to try and use the width of this pitch a bit more?
Yeah, we definitely wanted to come and play. Like when we played here at home against Swansea last time out, we scored some good tries, and similarly again tonight, so that was really, really pleasing to see.
Now, you've got a good game next week against Bath. What do you think, positives-wise, we'll go there first, sorry. What's a positive that you want to take forward into next week, make sure that the squad don't forget?
Yeah, look, obviously scoring 42 points tonight is a real positive, so taking that down to Bath, which is always a real hard place to go, will be a huge positive for us.
And give me one work on that. I know you're itching to tell me what you want your squad to work on.
We saw it tonight, just our breakdown there, in terms of our speed to get into that tackle play is going to be really important for us next week.
Well, Martin, thank you very much for joining me. Congratulations on the win here this evening. It was a fantastic result for Loughborough University. They've got back to winning ways in the space of 1 round, and it means that they climb further up the table. So thank you for joining us here this evening, but the BUCS Super Rugby action isn't over yet. It's Cardiff Clash 2.0 next week. Don't miss it.